Happy Friday, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Great to be here with you this morning. And TGIF, certainly. I thought yesterday was Friday, so happy Saturday to everyone out there. It's definitely felt like a long week this week, because it has been. It's so good to be here with you, though. We have, I would say today is going to be a very loosey-goosey show, which is not that unlike many of our programs. It's really not. So maybe,
especially on a Friday,
it maybe today just will be just like a normal Ben and Woods show, because we're usually pretty loosey-goosey. I'm Woodsy. That is Paul Ryle. He is the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing very well. Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning to you.
Good morning. I'm in a good mood.
What happened?
Well, I was at work last night, and I just had wrapped up our 11 o'clock show, and I reached into my jacket pocket, and I found $4 that I didn't know was in there.
That is not.
Four $1 bills.
Let's do a quick cash check. I like when we cash check our wallets.
Well, I have $4,
You have four.
and then I have $3.20, $64.
God dang. Money bags?
Wow.
What do you have?
I got a 5.
I always like to keep between
Yeah, I never.
40 and 80, cash dollars.
I almost
Nothing.
never
You
have
have
cash
an
on
empty
me.
wallet.
I don't have one
Here.
single.
You
Can I
need,
have one of those?
you need one of those dollars here.
I'll take one of those 20s.
No,
You
you're
got
getting
one.
one of the ones just
Bro,
so.
I got a debit
it's not
card. I got
empty.
Venmo.
I've been doing I feel so proud of myself, you guys. I've been lately, and I avoided it for, I don't know how long it's been a thing. But lately, I can't get enough of the old tap the phone to pay. You know what I mean? The tap with your whole phone, like you tap.
Apple Pay?
Yeah. I would see it, and the guy would say, just tap right there. And I'm like, ha, here's my debit card. And I
Didn't know what
couldn't
you were
do
doing?
it. So I got it. I figured out where to place it, and now it pops up, and you double click, and it takes picture, and you're good. I'm so proud of
tap
myself.
My card.
I don't
chip
ever
on
tap-
my card.
I
can't
used
do
to
that
insert
either.
the chip, but now I'm tapping the chip.
I'm an
instead of
inserter.
the insertion just continued to backfire on me, so
It's happened to a lot of guys.
I've gone
actually.
with the tap.
It happens. It's happened to
Yeah.
a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes you leave it in too long
Yes.
Oh,
when
don't
you
wanna do that.
when you insert it, and
That can be bad news.
things can happen. There could be a malfunction.
That's
I've
right.
seen that many times, many times. So
And then you look, and 9 months later, you get the bill, and it's not what you
it's
expected
not
it to
what
be.
you expected. It's not what you expected. But no, I've been tapping the phone, and I'm very proud of myself, because it's just I'm such a late adopter to technology. I just got my first iPod the other day. No, I'm kidding. It's I go in now, and I'm confidently going boom and boop, and I'm off and running.
I mean, if I order something now from like a restaurant for myself or the kids, I'm almost mad if they don't have an app or an easy way to do it online. I mean, I have adopted that now finally in the last couple of years. I feel like a modern 21st century human being. Now, I keep cash just in case you've got to
pay off a cop.
valet park your car or something. And I have not got to the point where I'm Venmoing like $5
I'll
to
go
tip
out.
a
I'll
valet
go get
or
cash
something.
when I know
Yeah,
I'm checking in somewhere, going to use valet. I will make sure I have some cash for that.
That's why I like to have it just in case.
If I got deliveries come in, like for food or something, I will make sure I have cash, because I do try to tip delivery drivers.
I think they get to
cash.
keep more if you tip cash. As
Oh, really?
opposed to,
Yeah.
if you,
On DoorDash and stuff.
I think so.
Then you got to meet them outside and stuff. I like that they just leave it by the door. I really do.
take a picture of it,
Take a
send
picture of it, send
yeah.
it to you.
Door dash.
DoorDash. It's great.
Leave it at the door and dash.
Got an update for some of the interested parties out there. We are starting a Tier 1 baseball team, and it's something that I had to get cleared with the missus, and she's says she's okay with it. We'll see how it ends up on, first game day on a Sunday when I'm like, I'm out. But my kids are old enough now I can bring them to the ball field and play.
I saw you were looking for a ball field yesterday online.
Yeah, and I found...
You were hoping the Padres would give you Petco Park, weren't you?
I wouldn't want it, to be honest with you. And I don't know the quality or caliber of the people coming to try out, so I don't want that on me.
Yeah, Johnny in right field just cutting some of the grass and taking it home.
Sliding. Oh, this is so fun.
Tier 1 tryouts, Sunday morning, 8 a.m., Petco Park. We'll see you on the field.
Could you imagine? They're probably setting up for an REO Speedwagon concert anyway, so who are we kidding?
REO Speedwagon.
Heard it from a friend who heard it from a friend who.
That's his phone tag now.
Yeah. Heard it from another. You've been messing around. Beat along. So I wanted to update everybody. I believe the season starts in February. If you're interested in playing and trying out, email me benandwoods@gmail.com. Okay, I'm working diligently to find a field. I got a couple of good leads on one. It's going to be like a 2-hour tryout. I'm going to tell you this right now, though. I'm doing the tryout for multiple reasons. Number one, because I think it'll be funny. All right. Number two, I'm doing it because I don't know a lot of. Anytime I've started a team before, I've just pulled all the dudes I know that are really good. So I don't want to be bad, but I also don't want to be a jerk. You know, it's going to be hard for me to go out and go, hey, better luck next season, Ben. Nice try. Good job.
Just because you made the team last year doesn't mean you're automatically on this
right.
year's squad, says Woods. He wants you to prove yourself.
Yeah. Be like Happy Gilmore. I called your name, didn't I? No, Coach,
better luck next year.
Well, better luck next year.
So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to bring you out. We'll put you through a bit of a rigorous workout. And if you feel like at the end of it you can hang, great. And then you're going to have to pay your fees. And the fees are not cheap. It's between $100 to $200, something like that. Then you're going to have to buy your uniform. Like, it's playing baseball. It's a long season. I mean, it's probably 14, 15 games. And I need a commitment. You know, that's the thing. So you got to ask yourself all those questions. Number one, can I hang? Number two, can I pay? Number three, will I show up? Because running a team is a nightmare. It's a pure, unadulterated nightmare. Hey, Woodsy, I forgot my belt. Do you have an extra one? I left my glove at home. And do you have a bat I can use? And I just leave the game. It's like, why do I do this? But I'm excited to get back into it, and I thought it would be really cool to do it.
No, I can't play second base.
With the listeners. Yeah. I need you to pitch today. No, I can't pitch today. It's a team full of Padres, essentially. You know what I mean? Like, where would you like to hit? Second? Well, you're not that good. I was going to put you at seventh. No, I get my numbers at 2. It's going to be a nightmare, but I want to do it. I'm excited to play with the tier ones. So I was looking for a field last night. Had some, the tier ones are so helpful. My God, my DMs went crazy. I was getting all kinds of messages about, and I think we'll have it done. My target date, Benny, if you'd like to come out, it'll be fun. Probably going to try to do it the morning of New Year's Eve. So the last day of the year, in the morning, it's like on a Sunday.
That's okay. Everybody, nothing happens until later in the day on New Year's Eve.
Exactly. Yeah. So 9 to 11 or something, we'll try to get that tryout in. And working on a couple fields right now. So just wanted to update you guys on that. Again, if you're interested in playing, benandwoods@gmail.com. We're going to have to trim the fat. You're going to know after you see the workout if you could hang or not.
There's no shame.
There's no shame in saying, I'm probably not ready, man. I'll come back out. None. But it is going to be hard for me to walk around and be like, hey, dude, sorry, you're terrible. Because I like to be nice. It's why I wouldn't be tough to be a high school. Will you cut everybody?
No, Ben will.
But will you cut everybody? You are heartless.
I'm pretty cold-hearted.
I'll make our list and be like, all right, Ben.
Joy in my life. We can videotape it and we can play it on the air.
It'd be a great bit.
Monday.
It'd be a great bit. That's the other reason I want to do it. It's going to be great content.
I did this back in March with the Tier 1 basketball team. Just put it out there. A bunch of listeners were like, hey, I'm interested. I can play. And you're like, all right, you're in.
Yeah.
And then luckily got a really good group of guys.
That's good.
We're going up on our 4th season now.
That's 4th already.
They do every 3 months.
Okay,
or something.
good.
So yeah, it's been great. New season will start sometime in January. But you're like, I have no idea how tall you are. I have no idea what kind of shape you're in. I don't know if you've ever played basketball before.
Right.
So I like the idea of the tryout.
Yeah, it's just and really I can't go to the thing with 40 guys on my roster. I just can't. Like, I can't have that many guys.
Were either of you ever cut from a team growing up?
No.
Never happened?
Cut.
I mean, nowadays, I don't even know if they do cuts anymore for youth teams.
I think they just make more teams.
Like, I knew I wasn't going to make the baseball team in high school, so I didn't even try, which I kind of regret
Of course,
almost.
you should have. You
I
should
should
have
have
done
tried, but I felt like I'm not good enough anymore, and I'm just going to get cut. And I didn't think I could handle that kind of rejection, so I switched over and went on the golf team, which was the same season, and probably ended up being the right decision for me at that time. But there was always that pang of like, should I have at least gone for it? I was a good enough baseball player to at least try out and, see if I could do it. But I think, afraid I was going to get cut, and I didn't want to get that bad news.
I didn't get cut. I got punished for
grades.
being good almost. It was I outperformed my level in a tryout, and they put me in the age group above me. And I was like, this is awesome. And then I never played.
Because
I was
on the bench.
I was a year and a half younger than everybody there. And I'm like, I kind of wish I would have just played with my friends in the other league.
So it was after City Ball. I think it was after I made the freshman team, or the high school team, and then we all went out for American Legion. The American Legion team was the select, right? And I went out to the American Legion.
Like the equivalent of travel ball today or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I go out to try out for the Legion team, and I remember getting into the box, and I think I swung and missed at the first 9 pitches. I mean, I looked like Austin Hedges. Wasn't my day. And I think the nerves were so fried. And I looked around and I got domed out by how good the other guys were. And I went, this isn't me. And I went up, I swung and missed probably 9 times. Probably booted a couple balls at third. Didn't make the Legion team. Couple buddies did. Yeah, you want to die. And then you end up playing City League and dominating and then having fun before sophomore year. Went to a camp, came back, had a great sophomore year. But then we moved, and I failed a class. And I couldn't play anymore, so it was a gnarly scenario. But getting cut from that, not making the Legion team didn't feel good. I don't want people to feel that. I don't want our beloved listeners to feel that.
I quit one sport. It was tackle football. First time ever.
It's terrible.
Trying. I didn't grow up playing football.
Terrible.
Backyard football or whatever.
It's the worst.
And I was probably 13. I think it was the Pee Wee level at that point. Middle school, and I was like, I want to play football. So I joined the league. I made it through one game and like 6 practices and said, this is a different.
It's different.
It
animal.
takes a different person.
Yeah,
and
it's not as fun.
This is not for me.
It's not as
and
fun.
the coach shook my hand and said, there is absolutely no shame in that. I appreciate you coming out and
thanks for saving me from having to play your terrible ass.
Yeah,
and
you're going to get hurt.
You've done me a favor.
Right.
You've done me a favor.
We went our separate ways.
That's what we're going to try to do. So thank you guys for all your help. I'm excited about it. I will say that I'm going to throw this out there too. If you're a designer, if you're like a T-shirt or jersey guy, I know there's a lot of them here. I will use you. I will pay you. Reach out to us at benandwoods@gmail.com. Want to get some really sharp jerseys and hats and all that stuff, and excited about this thing, man. I'm excited to play with our tier ones.
We got some incredible news this morning from one of our friends. I'm not going to spoil it. We'll just share it coming up here in a few minutes, but I was very excited about what I saw when I got up this morning. So we'll do that coming up after the Daily Ditty, and then we'll get into some of the baseball news, getting more details on the Padres Yankees trade. Saw some interesting stuff this morning about how it all came down between AJ Preller and Brian Cashman. This wasn't just a discussion from recently. This goes back actually to the trade deadline last year when the Yankees were trying to acquire Juan Soto back in July of last season, and it never went down, but now it did, of course, and the Padres have addressed some of their pitching needs. But Shohei Otani could be making a decision today. Saw a tweet this morning about that, so we could have breaking news from the world of baseball at some point during the show. And then we will just have all of our Friday fun and our regular features, everything going on today. Craig Elston will join us. It is SEAL season tomorrow. Patrick Merrill, the head coach, is going to be with us at 9 o'clock this morning as Woodsy gets ready for his first PA game tomorrow at Pechanga Arena.
I'm so fired up, man.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good Friday.
Yeah,
as you said, maybe a loose, but hopefully a good Friday. We are off and running. Kelly's got traffic, and then we'll be right back with the Daily Ditty next here with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
You know this song, Benny?
I do.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how you'd mess up the lyrics.
You're not going to believe me. This is not me. This is a story passed down. No, you got to keep playing it here, Paul. You need to get to the. It cuts like a knife. My friend Mark told me that his buddy's dad thought it was sea sucking night. Sea sucking night.
Oh.
Yeah, but it feels so right. Yeah, it's a sea sucking night, but it feels so right. I wonder if that dad was doing a bit to them when they were in like 7th and 8th grade. It's an interesting bit for a dad to do, I think.
A little weird.
It's a little weird, but you can hear it a little bit. But they would never play that on the radio. So, sea sucking night. Bryan Adams. It cuts like a knife. Big fan of that song, by the way.
It's a good song.
Really, really good song. We got a phone call?
Yes, we do.
I do.
Is it happening?
Little surprise here. Yeah, I saw the news this morning when I got up. He was nice enough to text us, and then he alerted the rest of the world.
Sweet
But
angel.
joining us right now is our former NIL Tier 1 athlete from San Diego State University. Steve Sugamoto is here, and Steve has some incredible news. Good morning, Steve, or I guess it's probably good
like
evening.
11:30 at night. I
Yeah,
think.
good evening to Steve Sugamoto, where he is in Japan.
Good evening. Good morning. I can't go to sleep tonight, really, because got some adrenaline pumping through my body. But happy to announce that I'm a member of the Japan tour.
Yes!
Starting in 2024.
Hell yeah.
Made it through all the stages of qualifying school. 5th place finish in the final stage today. What 14 under? What were you?
I was 15 under
15
for the
under.
week. Very stressful 15 under, to say the least.
This is now. I was looking this up. The Japan tour is very, very legit. Some people say maybe like the number 3 tour in the world. I looked at the prize money, and I don't know the conversions, but there's like 150 million yen or more like on the line every single week. And I don't know exactly what that means, but you're a real like card carrying professional golf player now.
Yeah, it hasn't sunk in quite yet, but I'm very happy. I can't really put into words. I was shaking coming off the 18th hole today, and just have no words really.
Dude, I feel like a proud father. All those times me and you spent on the putting green, me giving you advice, teaching you how to chip, teaching you how to calm your nerves. I can't. This is a big day for me, too, Steve. I'm just very excited for you, man. I'm very excited for
Me
you, buddy.
teaching him how to use a driver.
Yeah, teach him how to drive
This
it
kid
long and
just
straight.
didn't know what he was doing before he met us.
Ben trying to manipulate your brain that he could beat you so that you would force you to bear down. You still think you can beat him?
No,
huh?
I wanted
Yeah,
to
all
make
right.
the announcement
Okay.
this morning that I have decided that even on my best day and on Steve's worst day, I now have no chance to be a real professional golfer on the Japan tour.
Which is probably what motivated him the entire time over in Japan. Dude, number one, I'm so happy for you.
Definitely.
Number two, I'm so proud of
Thank
you.
you.
Just a cool story how we all came together. And I just go out and conquer, man. Go out and kick some ass and play your very best. And now that with golf, it's just like you never feel like you're at the top of the mountain. I mean, you can feel so good. Like, you feel like you're playing so well. One hole can just kill you.
The
It's
carrot. I was
gnarly.
looking this up. So, like the top 3 finishers on the tour get to go to the European, the DP World Tour, which is, of course, right there on the PGA Tour, like equivalent playing level.
Yep.
So there's a huge carrot in front of you. Now the season, it starts like in the spring in Japan after it warms up a little bit.
Yes, it starts in March, and that's exactly what my goals are. This isn't the end of the road. I want to eventually make it back to the States and play on the PGA Tour or DP World Tour or whatever I can play in. And,
Gonna join John Rahm.
John Rahm just made
Give me a
$600
call.
million, Steve. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, just
They're not offering me that yet.
get your bag, man. Get your
I'm-
bag. Do what you got to do.
Yeah. I just thank you guys for all your support, and I listen to you guys when I warm up, and reminding me that it's just another day of golf out there, keeping it lighthearted. So I just wanted to give you guys some good news after, these past few days where it's been a little sad. I've been a little sad from the Juan Soto situation, and just wanted to give you guys some good news.
Dude, it's the best news, man.
So
You've
happy.
made our week.
So happy.
who will be the next Ben and Woods NIL athlete to go pro?
Yeah.
Probably somebody from USD or UCSD, I would imagine.
We're taking applications. Let's just say that. All right. Well, I can't wait to follow every single tournament. I'm going to be up overnight watching the leaderboards all summer long at
So
the
you're going to
Japan
be staying
tour.
over there for a little while, Steve, then?
No, I'm coming back next week.
Perfect.
I'm ready to go home.
Yeah. Come hang out.
Come hang out.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Come hang
Sounds
out.
good.
Christmas holiday extravaganza. We'll put you on the list. You're always welcome. We love you. We're very proud of you, dude. Keep up the good work. We'll see you soon. We'll try to get a round in while you're home.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, buddy.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Take care of
would
yourself.
love that.
Congratulations, Mr.
That is-
Professional Golfer.
That is professional golfer Steve Sugamoto from San Diego
Oh, I'm
State.
so happy for him.
Ben and Woods, NIL sponsored athlete. I feel like now our $100 a month has gone to something important and vital.
Yeah.
That we got in on the ground floor of what is now a rocket ship that will eventually end up on the PGA Tour. I mean, the numbers he is putting up, again,
staggering.
15 under for 4 rounds, 5th place. Yet if he can consistently do that next year, he's going to be making big money. He's going to, open up some doors. You can even get into the Open Championship. There's probably, if you do well in a couple of the tournaments, you get a spot in a major, like a real golf major. He could be playing in a major tournament within the next year or two if he keeps on this trajectory, which is absolutely amazing.
It'll be so nice when he flies us out to go watch him.
Yeah,
No,
or
yeah.
when he asks Ben to caddy for him at the Masters. I mean, it will be phenomenal.
I'm not worthy, but if I ever get the chance, even to caddy a pro-am round for him at some point,
Yeah,
I will do that in a heartbeat.
Incredible. Very proud of him. What a good kid he is. And weird that you would listen to this show to calm you down before a match. It's very weird to me. I don't really get it. It's probably the worst idea I've ever heard, but whatever works for Stevie, you keep doing it, bud. Love you,
The
man.
Zen
Very proud.
masters of Ben and Woods
Yeah,
here
yeah,
every
exactly.
morning,
Holy
for sure.
cow.
All right, let's get to some of the news. I thought the follow-up on the Padres trade that I've been seeing all over the place the last couple of days has been very interesting. The evaluation, the grades, how the trade kind of came about, and the process that the Padres and Yankees went through to come to an agreement on Juan Soto. The details. The devil is in the details, and the
Always.
details of this are very interesting. So we'll get into that coming up. We got a crazy don't do this story in a little bit that you're not going to
We've
want to
got-
miss if you didn't see it.
We've got a couple of those.
Yeah.
Things have gotten weird in the world right now. Very, very weird.
Don't go anywhere. It's a Friday. It's Ben and Woods. Stick around on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Turns out there was a very real possibility that Juan Soto could have been gone to the Yankees last year, or earlier this year in July at the trade deadline. Got a story that came out in The Athletic yesterday about the lead up to the Padres-Yankees trade. Didn't start at the winter meetings or at the GM meetings. Started last year. It started when the Padres were under 500 in July, going into the trade deadline, trying to decide whether they were going to be buyers or sellers at the deadline. And the Yankees came hard after Juan Soto last July. And they did a lot of the legwork for the trade that ended up going down this week. Months ago, it just never materialized during the course of the regular season last year, Woods.
Yeah. Did you guys see also, before we get into the nuts and the bolts, did you see the very nice message that Juan left?
I
last
did.
night
That
for
was
the
nice.
people of
Yeah.
San Diego. I'll just read it quickly.
Go, yeah.
I would like to first thank God, who guides my steps at all times, the Seidler family, for welcoming me as part of their family, my coaches, trainers, and my teammates. Thank you for everything. From the bottom of my heart, it is nice to have met you and shared your advice. My arrival was a roller coaster of emotions, but what a good journey it has been. To my fans, feeling your support and love for me has been a gift from God, for which I'm grateful every day. Thank you for welcoming me with so much love, San Diego. I will always carry you in my heart with love, Juan. Loved it. I mean, the guy was here a year and a half, and that's what we mean when we say guys that get it. You know, that's what we mean. And I'm not going to throw stones at other people that robbed the city blind and you never heard from again. But that is how you do it. That's a class act scene.
I mean,
right
whether
there.
you mean it or not, it's such a nice gesture to at least put it out there.
No doubt.
And I saw that. I appreciated it as well.
I appreciated it so much. And it's again, hard not to root for a guy that loves playing baseball as much as he does, even though he's going to be on a different team. I talked to my dad last night, and I go, how do you feel? He goes, I don't feel that great about it. And I go, oh, you don't like Juan Soto? Are you going to be one of those guys? Like, oh, he walks too much.
All he does is get on base.
I hate a 600 OBP. No, he goes, no, he goes, it's weird because I really like watching the Padres now, and they're so fun, and hearing you talk about them every day. I go, I got you, didn't I? I absolutely got you. So I think we may have converted another one, Ben, but he's, I think it'll change when the calendar flips and he sees Soto and Judge in that lineup together. But I don't know. He was like kind of bummed like the rest of us yesterday. So he's on the fence. He just needs a little shove.
All right, this hour on Ben and Woods brought to you by Smart and Final. This holiday season, shop groceries, baking needs in one trip, and that's it at Smart and Final. We'll get into some of the details here right after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by California Coast Credit Union. Looks like double trouble out of the South Bay northbound side of the 5. We still have the solo vehicle accident in the center divide just past 8th Street. Then up ahead, stalled vehicle in the center divide right around Main and Division. They're talking about running a brake to clear that over to the right shoulder. Get a 4.48% APR auto loan at California Coast Credit Union with no payments for 90 days. Offer valid with CalCoast car buying service discount. Interest accrues immediately. Restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit calcoastcu.org. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So this piece by Chris Kirshner of The Athletic, going into detail on the process of the Juan Soto Padres-Yankees trade, goes back to 2023 when I didn't realize how bad things had gotten for the Yankees in left field. They had 10 different left fielders last year, 5th worst OPS in the league out of left field. They were hoping that like Aaron Hicks or Oswaldo Cabrera would be able to, step up and,
Take the job.
Yeah, take the job, and it never really happened. So as they were kind of in the same boat as the Padres in July and looking like, we need to do something dramatic, they started doing the due diligence on Juan Soto. And the Padres, in return, started looking at the Yankees' depth and what they might need from the Yankees in a possible trade. And while it never went down, they got so much information, like the Padres did, about pitchers in the Yankees organization that it really laid the framework. And according to Kirshner, and this is misinformation season, so you take everything a bit with a grain of salt.
Where was this? In The Athletic?
This was in The Athletic.
I didn't see this one. I saw the Bradford Doolittle.
Yeah, he said the Yankees really did not want to include King or Thorpe in the deal. Now you have kind of called and said that's probably not entirely true. I
Correct.
mean, they ended up including them, so they certainly weren't untouchable. But the idea for the Yankees was to try to get a deal done without including either of those guys.
Of course. If there's a car that's worth $80,000 and I can get it for 40, I'd much rather do that than pay the whole 80. There's not one single, and again, just based, I don't know what's in Brian Cashman's head. I just said yesterday, I gave you a scenario of how it could have played out, where you finally get there and Cashman's like, did they really think I was going to let Michael King be the holdup here for Juan Soto? Michael King, who's got just 2 years left to control for either team, if he stays on the Yankees, he's got 2 years. If he comes to the Padres, he's got 2 years. Do you think that guy, the hybrid starter / bullpen guy, he's going to be the holdup to bring Juan Soto back to the Bronx? I don't think so.
So Kirshner writes, last month at the general managers' meetings in Arizona, Yankees and Padres re-engaged in trade discussions surrounding Soto. Cashman, along with senior advisor Omar Minaya, who, of course, once worked with Preller in the Padres front office, met at the Omni Resort to see if they could find common ground. They didn't get anything done, and then, of course, Peter Seidler passed away, and the Padres needed to finish their managerial search. So it kind of went on the back burner for a couple of weeks, and then when they got to the winter meetings last week, things got, intensified, and eventually they came to the agreement that was announced on Wednesday this week with Juan Soto going to the New York Yankees. But it's funny, just they talked about it last month. They re-engaged this month, and the Yankees went hard. They were aggressive looking to acquire Juan Soto. He was their guy that they wanted all along, the guy that made the most sense for them in the offseason. And I can see why. They need left-handed bats. They needed an outfielder. And
they needed some star power.
When you have Aaron Judge, it feels like Juan Soto is almost the perfect complement to bat in front of Aaron Judge. I don't know where Aaron Boone's really gonna end up with his lineups, but Soto 2, Judge 3 seems to make an inordinate amount of sense if you're the New York Yankees.
Scary.
Soto's going to get his walks, so he's going to be on the base a ton for Judge, who's going to get his home runs. It just feels like that's just automatic offense, 50 to 60 games a season. Judge's solo shots are going to be 2-run shots, another 60% of the time from last year. That's instant offense for the New York Yankees. Plus everything Soto does, he's probably going to hit 40 to 50 bombs at Yankee Stadium this year. I don't think I have any illusions that, his numbers won't go up in that park playing in New York. He's going to do well this season for the Yankees. It was a good move for the Yankees. The question now,
I can't believe that the grades that I've seen it run the gamut from Padres with an A on the deal to this one in the Athletic, give the Yankees an A and Padres a C. Grant Bisbee gives the Yankees A+, Padres C+. And then I saw A, B-, but I saw Bradford Doolittle gave the Yankees a B. Padres got an A-. So that's kind of one of the only ones I've seen. There's a couple of websites out there, too, that analyze everything. And everyone says, look, we said it yesterday, the volume is really, really good. And if you get 5 guys back, 4 of whom could be on your opening day roster, well, it means a couple things. You're very thin, number one, or you got good players back that you believe in. So I'm excited to see what they can do.
I'm almost always, and I think you are too, a quality over quantity guy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have 5 guys, but none of them make an impact, doesn't really matter how many guys you get.
Exactly right. And there's some impact arms in here.
So that always concerns me. But in this case, I really feel like maybe even all 5 guys will contribute to the Padres in 2024. And you don't see that often in trades, especially 5 for 1. You got maybe one that contributes next year, and then you got some lower minor leaguers who are 2 or 3 years away. Thorpe is the only one who, probably won't start with the Padres in 2024, even though he may have a chance in spring training. But you could certainly see him advancing to the big leagues. Higashioka almost certainly will be the backup catcher. And, the market for catching, you saw, Victor Caratini got $12 million, I think.
That is crazy talent,
the market for catching is right now overpriced and not something you want to dive into, especially when you're trying to devote your resources elsewhere. So getting Kyle Higashioka, actually a very savvy move by AJ Preller, even though he's probably the most overlooked part of the deal. Like, it's just a backup catcher. They're a dime a dozen. Well, actually, they're about 137 dimes a dozen right now because there's just not many of them out there, and every team needs one. So the prices are inflated and not something the Padres wanted to pay, and now they're getting him for like $4 million, which is nowhere near what they're going for on the open market. I mean, Victor Caratini, come on, $12 million? That's nuts. That's nuts. I mean, Gary Sanchez is probably going to get way more than that now. And who knows if he's going to be able to even come close to duplicating what he did in a very short time period for the Padres. So you've got your starter, Luis Campusano. You got your backup catcher pretty much taken care of now with Kyle Higashioka. And you've got to think that, worst case scenario, you'd think at least one or two of those guys that they acquired pitching-wise are going to at least be competent, middle of the rotation type starters for you next season. That seems like at least a floor for what you got in that trade, and it's something the Padres needed very badly.
They have given Ruben Niebla now a few different arms with swing and miss potential. How can he make them better? I don't know what his secret sauce is, but I know he's got some of it. And we've seen him do it, in the very short time that he's been the Padres pitching coach. Again, we turned the page at 9 o'clock yesterday. You cannot lament the fact that Juan Soto, you can, but it's not going to bring him back. Looking forward, moving down the road with these guys, yeah, man, I'm excited to see what happens when he gets his hands in the clay and starts helping mold some of these pitch shapes and things like that, because by all accounts, the four arms that we got back, there's something really good in each of them that he can work with. And again, I don't know how the rest of the offseason is going to shake out. I don't know who else they're going to add starting pitcher-wise. But as it stands today, I think Michael King is your 3, and you've got maybe one of those other guys could be your 4 for now. But you definitely have added 2 pieces to that bullpen and a backup catcher. We ride, man. That's all we can do.
Yeah, Eno's analysis kind of gave me a glimmer of hope, especially when you saw what Ruben Niebla did with Seth Lugo last year and Michael Wacha and Nick Martinez over the last couple of years.
And he wasn't, the thing about Ruben, too, is that was always the answer when AJ would pick up a guy and Balsley would kind of get him back on track. There were guys in the bullpen early last year that seemed unfixable. Good stuff would just get beat. Like Brent Honeywell was a great example. Threw hard, had nasty breaking stuff, would just get beat. He just got beat, and he got beat too much, and he got, let go from the team. And Luis Garcia finally figured it out. But you can't have a 6-month lag and start throwing well in September when you're a back end of the bullpen guy. So it wasn't Ruben's guys weren't perfect by any stretch, but man, he sure did an excellent job with the starters last year. And working around some injuries, helping Blake Snell go out and win a Cy Young. I mean, that's a great sense of pride for Ruben, too. Getting him locked in. And Blake is the one that credited Ruben and said, once he kind of told me, don't worry about your walk. Stop. If you walk a guy, who cares? Just get the next guy. Which is such something you learn in Little League. And Blake was like, I kind of remembered that. And Ruben really drilled that in my head. And I went out and I walk a guy and I go, so what? And then I go strike out the side.
It's a small thing, but you've got to imagine a lot of pitching coaches are harping on, can't walk guys. I mean, hey, you want to be a starter on this team, you got to throw strikes. You're going to walk guys, you're not going to find yourself having any success. And Ruben went the other way.
Imagine flipping that. So who cares? Yeah. Your stuff is the nastiest
don't worry
in the
about
league,
it, man.
dude. Just go get the next one.
You brought up the name Jason Dominguez. He's the Martian, right?
Yeah, the Martian.
Who is recovering from elbow surgery. But the Padres, according to Kirshner, did inquire about both shortstop Anthony Volpe and center fielder Jason Dominguez, but both were non-starters for the Yankees, especially with the possibility of losing Soto after 1 year. And, I think part of this is, were you expecting or are you expecting Juan Soto to sign an extension with the Yankees here? Because I'm not. At least,
is that right?
At least not right now.
Oh, no.
Not right now. A lot of teams wouldn't have pulled off a Soto trade unless they could have gotten assurances, and we're going to sign him immediately to a giant contract, and he's going to be a Yankee forever. The Yankees were willing to do this knowing
he's a rental.
Juan Soto is almost certainly going to free agency. Now, they will bid, and they will bid hard for Juan Soto. But so will many other teams, and if Juan Soto wants to go somewhere else, they could easily lose him after 1 year.
It took all of 1 day for the New York media to start writing stories about It's great that he's a Yankee. Will he be a Met next year? I mean, it already happened. Yesterday, one of the Johns wrote a piece yesterday saying, it's great that he's here. Chances are he could flip to the Mets, next season. And, everybody's going to be watching that dude. All eyes are going to be on him. I don't know who else is hitting free agency next year, Ben, but I doubt it's anybody bigger than Juan Soto.
The other little nugget here that surprised me from Kirshner's story was the deal had been agreed on Tuesday, but it was the Yankees who wanted Trent Grisham included to give them some insurance in the outfield. It wasn't the Padres going, we need to shed more salary, you need to take on wild. Trent Grisham. It was the Yankees who demanded Grisham be included in the deal at the end to get it finished across the finish line at the end, even though they are planning to play Aaron Judge in center, Verdugo in left, Soto in right. They wanted that insurance policy of Trent Grisham included in the deal. So that wasn't a salary dump. That wasn't simply it's time to move on from Trent Grisham. That was the Yankees' actual request late Tuesday as the last part of this deal to get it done.
I think that's probably one that AJ probably knew in his heart. We haven't been able to get him dialed here. We just haven't, and it's been a decline since he's been here. And could be time for change of pace. And now I'm not going to have to hear S from the Padres fan base for bringing him back, starting him out there in center field again. We only talked to Trent a couple times, and I always rooted for the guy, man. I really did. I wanted to see him figured out because I loved his glove in center so much, and I know the pitching staff certainly appreciate it as well. And I think the Yankees pitching staff are going to appreciate it as well when he's out there.
I won't be cheering against him.
No,
sure.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't root against many guys.
No, and I won't be cheering against Juan Soto either.
No,
I'd like to see him do well. I mean, it helps that he's as far away as you can get in the American League East. But Padres will face the Yankees in May, and who knows, maybe in October as well.
Well, speaking of the American League East, John Morosi's been all over this Otani story.
Ooh.
Said we had some tweets earlier this morning. He's been on MLB Network. He said earlier this morning, source, Shohei Otani's decision is imminent, possibly as early as today. Then he followed that up with, the Blue Jays are one finalist for Shohei Otani as his decision approaches, as I reported on MLB Network moments ago. And just about a minute ago, he tweeted an emoji of a Canadian flag.
You're teased, John Morosi. Sorry.
Sorry about it.
Lord, I don't often come to you in these moments live on the radio. But if you're listening, I need this. We need this as a city.
I don't want it. I need it.
No, as a city.
We're just talking about him not going to a particular team in the National League West, correct?
Yeah, we met with him.
Mm-hmm. And I've got reams of S posts ready to go. So when you're ready, big guy, I am here. Ever your loyal soldier. Thank you, Jesus.
We'll come back if there is any
for
breaking news on Shohei Otani. You will certainly hear it from us the second any tweet comes down.
Please get it done.
Saw that there has been some pieces like okay, so if he signs with the Blue Jays, what do the other teams do now? Soto's off the market. That will be the two biggest offensive pieces available gone. What do you do next? Do you pivot to Cody Bellinger?
Baby.
What do you do next? We'll find out coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
the pride of Canada, as it were, Rush. For now,
Love Rush.
I love Rush. I love all things Canadian. I do. I'm doing the Seals game tomorrow, full of Canadians down there. We're gonna have a Canadian coming on at 9 a.m. Patrick Merrill, head coach of the San Diego Seals. First game kicks off tomorrow. Get your tickets at sealslax.com. And very excited. Love Canadians. I do.
You guys saw that Toronto news anchor who went off.
Yeah, we need to play that audio
Los
later. It's
Angeles
amazing.
Yesterday.
It's incredible. They like to say beauty. You're a beauty. Oh, that guy's a beauty. Oh, Woodsy, you're a beauty. It's my favorite. And I need to incorporate it more. That guy's a beauty. Oh, you're a beaut. I love them. I really do. And I think Shohei Otani to the Blue Jays would be a phenomenal fit.
What that could mean, I don't know. Will the Dodgers intensify their pursuit of Yamamoto if they don't get Otani? Possibly. That was one of the scenarios that I read about yesterday. That you can't imagine the Dodgers just getting shut out completely on the free agent market this offseason.
Can't I imagine it? Can it be my sexual fantasy?
You can dream on it. It seems like after last year and doing nothing, essentially doing nothing and going under the luxury tax, that to then go the next year and just do nothing again.
I mean, you can't force somebody.
If I was a Dodger fan, I could stomach last year. I can understand. Okay, we got a plan. We're going to go after a superstar.
Right.
We're still winning the division. I'm okay. I don't like it, but I'm okay with it because you've got a plan. If they don't follow through and then land superstar players, I am apoplectic as a Dodgers fan.
I don't even want to get excited about it because I still think he's a Dodger. I do. They had this in place. This was their plan all along to go out and get him. I don't know that it's.
They'll have to overspend on someone. If they don't get Otani, they're going to have to overspend on someone.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a matter of money, or do you think it's
a matter of comfort?
A matter of comfort.
I do think it's a matter of comfort. He's going to get his money regardless. I do. I don't know that, man. Nobody really does, and it's driving baseball writers crazy. We will play you the audio of one Ken Rosenthal coming up in Don't Do This. It's one of the. I couldn't believe it when I saw it yesterday. I watched it a couple different times. It blew me away. Some of the diaper crapping that's been going on from national baseball writers about this whole situation. I'm trying to figure out what the beef with him is. I really am. I don't see anything wrong with anything that man has done. And again, you're talking to, I know Ken Rosenthal's a baseball writer. He's a content creator, as is Buster Olney, as is Ben, as is Paul, as am I. I don't understand the feeling of you owe me. You owe me. That covering the mystery is just as interesting to me as covering the details.
That's a great point. In what way is simply being transparent about everything that's going on actually creating any interesting content?
Correct.
That's boring.
This is interesting.
All right, so here's my schedule for the week. I'll be meeting with the Dodgers on Monday and
the Giants on
Wednesday, and the Blue Jays on Thursday. I'll be arriving at the airport here, and here, and then everybody has it. And what? The mystery is actually great for the business, great for the sports talk, baseball insider business, speculation, columns. It's driving things much more than an open, transparent process would be driving it. So you're absolutely right about that.
I think the problem too is this: it's the double standard. I mean, somebody made the point yesterday. I certainly don't remember. And look, it works both ways. I don't remember Manny getting dragged for going into February before signing. Manny is not as big of a superstar as Shohei Otani is. You know who is? No one. No one. He is the biggest superstar we have ever seen. We have never seen. There's not a person on this planet that has ever seen a Shohei Otani, right? Never seen anything like that before. He's a unicorn. He's the real Martian. He's from another planet. Manny didn't get dragged. A lot of these guys that drag it out, they don't get dragged. What's the difference with Otani? And we'll play you this audio. It's so gnarly to hear, how mad Ken is. He's very, very mad. And somebody made the really good point, Benny, that Ken Rosenthal was a guy that, I think we all used to have a lot of respect for, he's turned into Jim Gray. That's who he's turned into. Just kind of arrogant. This is how it goes. You should be, bowing to me. I don't bow to you. It's very, very interesting stuff. So we'll play that for you and don't do this. But yeah, man,
Can we play the Toronto?
Let's do the Toronto. This is incredible,
This
incredible
made me
stuff.
Laugh so.
Yeah, just go ahead and play it.
hard.
While we're playing this, if you want to call in to be our contestant on Take on Woods, you can get in a little bit early. We're going to play in about 4 or 5 minutes. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. All right, this was
from Breakfast Television, I think.
and he kind of gets over the top at the end. Even he
Sid.
makes his co-anchor uncomfortable at the end.
The
You
guy's
can
name
relate.
is Sid.
I can.
And they're talking about Otani. It's kind of like a Good Morning America type show, it looks like. And they had Jerry Hairston Jr. on earlier in the program, and he takes some shots from this guy. This is incredible.
You know what? Shohei Otani, I know you watch every day. And I appreciate you, man. You're the greatest. But in terms of the person you just heard from, Jerry Hairston Jr., first off, he played for 9 teams in 16 years. Nobody wanted him on their team. Played for the Dodgers for 2 years.
Guessing he was
I know as
pushing
much
for
about
Otani to the
as Jerry
Dodgers.
Hairston Jr. Played for them for 2 years. He's an absolute joke. Let's talk taxes. Yeah, we got taxes up in Canada, but California has the 5th highest taxes out of any state in America. Oh, you want to buy a place close to Dodger Stadium? Worst traffic in the world is in Los Angeles. Even if you're 10 kilometers away, it's still going to take you 8 hours to get to work every day. Weather, yeah, it's cold in Canada a little bit. You know what? Also snows in California last time I checked. And based on what Hollywood has told me, the great earthquake is coming at any point, and you don't want to be around any part of Los Angeles when that happens. Oh, we're going to talk about rings. We're going to talk about titles. Okay, since 1992, who's won more titles, the Jays or the Dodgers? Anyone want to answer that here?
Jays.
Jays have 2. Dodgers have not 2. And by the way, you know what? Listening to 2 national anthems is great. You know why? Because you get to hear the American one and then the better one, which is our national anthem.
Woo!
Shohei Otani, we love you. You know what to do. We'll give you your privacy. We'll give you a competitor. We'll give you a controlled environment with a dome. It's renovated, and you're going to get your $600 million. So I hear. Shohei, come home. We love you.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
And don't listen to this asshat from Los Angeles who doesn't know what he's talking about.
Hang on.
Unbelievable.
You did very well with that. We don't need to go ass hat. Okay?
It's too far.
Too far. One sentence too far.
He's not a huge asshat. I'm
Pull
sorry.
it back. Yeah. There
I
you
won't
go.
say that again.
No. Yeah. And Shohei, we'll give you your privacy after
calling him Shohei.
today. Yeah.
Yes.
Starting
Now, again, it might not happen, but I'm not going to let Los Angeles have all the fun on that.
No, you won't.
No, there's some drops in there to save forever.
Asshat is not one that I hear a lot of anymore.
It made her it made his co-anchor very uncomfortable.
I thought he was going to say the other one.
And don't listen to this asshat from Los
It
Angeles
made
who
me
doesn't know what he's
very
talking
nervous to hear that. But yeah, that was,
It's as spicy as it gets.
I don't know. I mean, do they have an FCC equivalent up in Canada? Can you curse on TV there? I have no idea what the rules are.
It does dispel my myth of all Canadians being nice and friendly, though. He was,
And don't listen to this asshat from Los Angeles who doesn't know what he's talking about.
he was pretty fired up. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know what I need to happen. I know what I want to happen. I know what I need to happen, but I also feel like I know what's going to happen. So we will brace ourselves for the imminent news that should be coming down again, according to John Morosi, imminently. So that's what he said. We didn't say.
Shohei.
People are trying to track private planes
They are.
from
They're doing their
Anaheim
thing.
to
Yep.
Toronto. No idea if Shohei Otani is on it or it has anything to do with baseball. But yeah, we're now at that stage to see if something's going to happen. So if there is news breaking, we will let you know. We're here until 10 o'clock. Right now, though, let's get to our game. It is time to play Take on Woods. Oh, we've got some good players who've been joining us this week. Steve is always a challenge for Woodsy. Good morning, Steve. How are you?
Good morning. How are you, fellas?
We're good.
What's up, Steve?
Let's get the weekend started right with an outright victory today. What do you say, Steve? You're playing for our grand prize drawing 2 nights in Las Vegas at the Westgate Dinner at Edge Steakhouse and 2 tickets to Barry Manilow at the International Theater at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Playing all of his standards. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Here are the categories today for Take on Woods. Opposites Attract. Those are 5 songs with a pair of opposites in the title. Say Anything. The word say is the key there. And our new category, well, we're waiting. Waiting is the key word for all those song titles. So, Steve, what do you like today? Opposites Attract, Say Anything, or, well, we're waiting.
Let's try to say anything one.
Say Anything. All right, no, it's not a category with song titles including the word anything. It's a category with song titles including the word say. You've got 5 questions, 60 seconds. You know how it works. 2-second song comes first. Give me the title and the artist. We go from there. Pass if you don't know one. See how you do, and then Woods comes in. Steve, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, Paul, you ready? 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music in the category Say Anything. Good luck, Steve. Let's take on Woods.
Fleetwood Mac. Say That You Love Me.
Correct. Which 1999 Grammy Award-winning hit by Destiny's Child would later become one of Heisenberg's most famous lines in the final season of Breaking Bad?
Pass.
Rivers Cuomo wrote which popular single from Weezer's debut album about his father's battle with alcoholism?
Wow. I'm sorry, pass.
Lionel Richie wrote and performed which #1 hit for the 1985 ballet movie White Nights, starring Mikhail Baryshnikov and Gregory Hines?
Say Me.
Correct. Which song written by Burt Bacharach includes the line, "To live without you would only mean heartbreak for me," and was a hit for both Dionne Warwick in 1967 and Aretha Franklin in 1968? Ooh, time got you there at the end, but you did get 2 correct. You got Say You Love Me by Fleetwood Mac and Say You, Say Me by Lionel Richie. The other answers, Say My Name is Destiny's Child and Heisenberg. Say It Ain't So by Weezer, and I Say a Little Prayer by Aretha and Dionne Warwick is a 2 for Steve today. It's a tough category, though. We'll see how Woodsy does. Hang on the line there, Steve. Woods comes in completely in the dark. You know, Shohei Otani signed while you were out there. No, he didn't.
That would have been amazing.
Padre. Can you tell by our reactions?
That would have been amazing. You guys waving me in here furiously.
60 seconds on the clock. Steve's score is locked in. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Steve. Which 1999 Grammy Award-winning hit by Destiny's Child would later become one of Heisenberg's most famous lines in the final season of Breaking Bad?
You're GD right, I am?
Nope. Rivers Cuomo wrote which popular single from Weezer's debut album about his father's battle with alcoholism?
Oh, God, I'm dying here. My Name is Jonas.
Incorrect. Lionel Richie wrote and performed which #1 hit for the 1985 ballet movie White Nights, starring Mikhail Baryshnikov and Gregory Hines?
Who?
Lionel Richie wrote and performed which #1 hit for the 1985 ballet movie White Nights, starring Mikhail Baryshnikov and Gregory Hines? Incorrect. Which song written by Burt Bacharach includes the line, "To live without you would only mean heartbreak for me," and was a hit for both Dionne Warwick in 1967 and Aretha Franklin in 1968?
I'm about to get shut out for the first time. Was the first one Say You Love Me by Fleetwood
It
Mac?
is.
Okay.
You got one. Anything else coming to you here?
Oh, wow.
Guess what? Steve wins it 2-1 on a very tough category
What was
today.
the category? Impossible music trivia?
Say anything.
Say,
all
all right.
the
Do it
all
again.
the songs have the word "say."
Okay.
The second one, the Destiny's Child song,
Say My Name.
Say My Name. Rivers Cuomo, Weezer, Father's Battle.
Say It Ain't So.
Say It Ain't So. Lionel Richie
Is Say.
Say You, Say Me.
You, Say Me, I meant.
And then Aretha Franklin and Dionne Warwick is I Say a Little Prayer.
Okay.
Steve, congratulations. An outright
Category
win.
would have helped. Would
have helped a little bit, but you didn't get it. Hang on the line. You even win a Daily Ditty for Monday if you'd like as an outright winner, and you are into the drawing for the grand prize trip to Las Vegas in a very tough category this morning of Take on Woods.
Got smoked, man. got smoked.
Hey, they can't all be 5 for 5s in this game. All right, we'll get to Don't Do This coming up next, and it includes the Sean McDermott story from yesterday.
You guys! All right, so we have to make an addendum to our number one
Yes,
rule of
the
don't do
number
this.
one
We are making a constitutional amendment.
It's 1A and 1B.
Well, yeah.
1A, 1B coming up next. We've
Yep.
got Ken Rosenthal's very, very full diaper for
Yep.
you. And maybe my new favorite Padre for
Oh,
Do This.
All right. I'm looking forward to that. It's coming up after a check of traffic. Do not go away. It's Ben and Woods on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Still no Shohei Otani breaking news. So let's get into our Don't Do This stories of the day.
There was an interesting tweet.
saw-
Adam sent something over. He said, Yusei Kikuchi reserves the entire upscale sushi restaurant near Rogers Center for tonight. Reservation made for 50-plus people. Make of it what you will.
This sucks so much. This is unbelievable.
It's probably Yusei
probably nothing.
Kikuchi's
It's his
holiday
birthday or
party.
something. Yeah, he's
something.
throwing a
Yeah.
party.
It's probably nothing.
This stupid. You just made my skin crawl because I'm like, oh.
No need
boy.
to panic, Dodgers fans. Probably nothing.
It's probably no big
Shall we
deal.
start calling like Toronto hotels and asking
Shohei
Shohei
Otani,
Otani's room, please?
I would do that.
That'd
let's,
be a don't do
Let's
this.
get this thing started. Ken Rosenthal yesterday on his podcast. I mean, the audio speaks for itself, talking about Shohei Otani.
Was be discreet. That's our preference. Don't say anything. Now, what Dave Roberts said the other day, he's our top priority. We met with him. We talked with him for 3 hours. It was good. How that can bother anybody in the Otani camp is beyond me.
Do we know that it did? We know what they said before. Did anyone in the Otani camp come out and say, this bothered us? I haven't heard anything.
And the fact that the Dodgers got upset with Roberts, seemingly, the front office, it was absurd. And it has gone to a level of absurdity with the privacy that is just not necessary. It's not going to matter. People are not going to care once he signs. It really doesn't affect much at all. But I will say this. He's going to get a monster contract, a record contract. It's going to be $500 million, $600 million, whatever it's going to be. That person who gets that contract, and frankly, that person who already is a two-time unanimous MVP, in my opinion, he has a responsibility to his sport to be out there, to not necessarily promote himself, but to be part of the mix. And look at other sports, like you just mentioned, some football players. You mentioned LeBron James. You can talk about him and what he brings to the NBA, Steph Curry. These guys recognize who they are within their sports. Now, I know Otani comes from Japan. It's a different culture. I get all that and respect it, of course.
Do you?
But at the same time, there is some of that. And fans who tell me just leave
I respect his culture,
But
them alone, well, fans are getting shortchanged when players do not in any way interact and just kind of sit there. We just love them to perform. Yes, we love all that, but this is an entertainment industry. It's more athletic. Andy McCullough put it really well. He's talked about this on his podcast. He said, listen, Otani's going to get this money not just because he can hit and because he can pitch. He's going to get this money because he's part of an $11 billion entertainment industry. Not all players have to be the same. They don't all have to be media hounds or whatever you want to call them.
kind of what you're
But
saying.
there is a certain responsibility that comes with that stardom, with that status as a public figure. Simple as that.
So, number one, he's not from here. Okay? So that is, for me, the main... I don't even want to call it an issue. That is the main. That's the main thing with all of this. He comes from a different culture. That culture values honor, they value integrity, and they value privacy. Why you don't understand that, but I do, and Ben does, and other people do. The fans, I don't see any fans. That's the thing, clamoring for. I need a 60 minutes interview with Shohei Otani, bro. The product that he is enough for me. It's enough for my 5-year-old son who has never heard Shohei Otani speak. You know what? He couldn't care less. You know what he likes? He likes watching him hit tanks and strike dudes out and do it all in the same game. Like, it's unbelievable what he's been able to accomplish.
Now, I will say, once you've signed Shohei Otani and you're giving him $600 million, if you need him to do a couple of events and meet with sponsors and do a little bit more media, that's a fair ask of your employee.
Absolutely.
But
And
he's not,
who says that he hasn't?
But he's a free
and
agent.
won't?
He's a free agent right now. And what Dave Roberts said, as innocuous as it was, and as known as it was by everyone. I mean, I don't think Shohei Otani cares that Dave Roberts is spilling the beans. I think he doesn't. It's an ego-stroking exercise. If someone says, you're our top priority. I think especially culturally, That's kind of embarrassing because what does that mean? That means everyone else is not our top priority, and you are, and you're kind of elevating one above the other. And I think that he values, not being separated from all the other baseball players, and he didn't like that. That's part of it. It's not I'm so private you can't discuss me. It's that I don't want my ego stroked the way, sometimes this free agency process goes.
Everything we've ever read about him is that all he cares about is playing baseball. That's it. He just wants to play baseball. By the way, I'm very good friends with Ichiro's agent, who in the second half of his career, Ichiro was the same way. He just wanted to play baseball. In fact, at 50 whatever years old, he's still out playing baseball because he loves playing baseball. It's all they care about. He's a baseball rat. Shohei's a baseball rat. That's all he cares about doing. Let him live. Let him live. He doesn't owe you anything as far as and he absolutely can dictate the amount of privacy that he wants, as can everyone.
All right, on to the nutso story from the NFL yesterday. First reported by Go Long, but then picked up by the national media involving Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott. And this is not a news story. This was a story from training camp 2019.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I thought it was recent.
No. This is very old. This is more than 4 years old and just coming to light now about a motivational story.
This is unbelievable.
That Sean McDermott used during camp. This is from a tweet from Adam Schefter. Has the little clip. At St. John Fisher College in Pittsburgh, New York, McDermott's morning address began innocently enough. He told the entire team they needed to come together.
Okay.
But then, sources on hand say he used a strange model. The terrorists on September 11th, 2001. He cited the hijackers as a group of people who were all able to get on the same page to orchestrate attacks to perfection. One by one, McDermott started asking specific players in the room questions.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
What tactics do you think they used to come together? A young player tried to methodically answer, what do you think their biggest obstacle was? A veteran answered, TSA, which mercifully lightened the mood. It's...
I guess we have to add to the golden rule of don't do this.
Don't talk about Hitler. Okay, don't reference Hitler. And I'm also going to throw in don't use terrorist groups as ways to motivate and talk about bringing each other together. I'd like to...
Now, McDermott says, now that it's been reported, he apologized immediately, realized he had made the mistake. Back in 2019, he goes, that was not a good speech. That was not my best speech.
He shouldn't be fired or anything like that. Like, just an interesting, weird way to motivate, I think. I'd like to address you guys, if I could. I want to talk about Ted Bundy and his guile. Can we start to have guile and wit and be able to move around surreptitiously like Ted Bundy? I mean, can you imagine, like, the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez? How was he able to stay anonymous for so long? That's something we as a show...
Paulie's technical skills over on the board rival those of the Unabomber.
Correct, Paulie. Paulie studied at the Unabomber school. It's just insane to me.
As a show, we've dealt with our fair share of adversity,
right.
Just like O.J. Simpson
Much like O.J. Simpson
that guy has really overcome a lot in his life.
Yeah, it's very, very odd. It's a very odd one. And I will get us wrapped up with Do This.
DD Mega Do.
Saw a clip making the rounds yesterday of new Padres backup catcher, Kyle Higashioka. And he has a talent that I was unaware of. And I'm now, he may be my favorite Padre. This is Kyle Higashioka on a guitar playing Iron Maiden, The Trooper. Now listen to the original. I'm going to play you a little bit of the original first. Not the easiest thing in the world to play.
Who's Iron Maiden's guitarist?
Oh, that's a good question.
Thought you'd have that right at the top of your head.
Bruce Dickinson was a singer. I don't know who the guitar player was.
All right.
No, that wasn't Vivian Campbell. It's not important.
Not important. I just thought Woodsy would have that for us.
So that was
Dave Murray?
Dave Murray. I know Bruce Dickinson is the singer. So that was the original Iron Maiden, The Trooper. Here is Kyle Higashioka shredding The Trooper.
got a talented
Are you
backup
kidding?
catcher.
Keep going. Keep playing Kyle's, Paulie.
This Kyle?
Yeah. Look at that. That's incredible.
I want him in for the holiday extravaganza
I
now.
would do anything to have him in here just shredding with us.
Bobby on keyboard.
Kyle Higashioka.
Kyle Higashioka on guitar. Amazing. That is amazing.
It's amazing. It is truly, truly incredible.
Maybe if he spent a little more time working on his catching instead of his guitar, he wouldn't be a backup.
Is that Bruce Bochy or who's talking?
Just
Yeah,
They are together.
just a baseball fan in general.
Is it together?
Sounds just like it.
Sounds incredible. Good for him, dude.
It's awesome.
Good for him. Wow.
He's a Renaissance man.
I can't wait to meet him, man. I can't wait to meet him and talk music with him.
So your two favorite people are both Higgy now.
Yeah. Ooh, Higgy v. Higgy content is going to be
Okay, yeah.
incredible.
That's Don't and Do This for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
So if you missed it, AJ Preller joined Gwen and Chris yesterday afternoon, and well, I heard some of it, and I'm what he said is somewhat interesting. It is AJ Preller. He didn't break any giant ground. I'm just curious to know if Gwen and Chris are any better at interviewing AJ Preller than we are.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't
know.
I'm going to listen to some of the sound bites and see if they've asked better questions to get better answers out of AJ Preller than we are able to when we talk to him in the morning. So we'll get to some of the new comments made from the Padres general manager, president of baseball operations, coming up next here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Want to remind everybody the 5th annual Ben & Woods Christmas and Holiday Extravaganza is coming up a week from Wednesday, the 20th, and we will be giving away $1,000 gift cards to help families in need buy gifts for the holidays. Are you now in need because you thought maybe I was trying to get you to play the under last night?
No, I'm good.
On the NFL game.
Just a light bet.
Bailey Zappi costing you some cash.
The over was it was crushed in the first half. I mean, it was. I watched 5 minutes, man.
21-10, I think, at halftime.
Yeah, cool. The over was 30.
I did mention on the show yesterday that the Patriots had scored a total of 13 points in their last 3 games. They eclipsed that in just over a quarter last night against the Steelers. They had 14 about 40 seconds into the second quarter, had 21 at halftime, and held on for a 21-18 win over the Steelers last night. That's neither here nor there, though. I'm talking about our holiday and Christmas extravaganza. If you know a family in need, someone you'd like to nominate to receive a $1,000 gift card, you can go to our website, 973thefansd.com/holiday. Put in your submission, and then listen on the 20th when we'll be giving out those $1,000 gift cards that have been generously donated by 4 incredible sponsors right now. Padilla Law Group, San Diego's father-son injury law firm. Visit PadillaLawGroup.com. The San Diego Seals. Get your tickets now at SealsLax.com. Swami's Cafe, a spot to dine and unwind at 7 Mile Casino, just minutes from downtown. Bailey Zappi, huh?
Got me again. You're mortified if you're a Steelers fan.
Mitch Trubisky was horrifically bad.
Usually is.
The Steelers fans were booing him
Usually
vociferously.
Yeah, that's one of the more embarrassing losses for the Pittsburgh Steelers in their franchise history, losing to a 2-10 New England Patriots.
They lost
team.
to an equally bad Arizona Cardinals team last week too.
It's true.
And now they're out of playoff position at 7-6 in the AFC. If they had just won those 2 games, they'd be a half game behind Baltimore for first place in the AFC North. Instead, they're now on the outside looking in the playoff picture. And by the way, there are a lot of good games in the NFL this Sunday. I mean, like after so many weeks, it felt like where are all the good games in the NFL? This week, I feel like is like the best lineup we've had in a while. In the morning, you've got...
What is happening?
What, you don't want to mention just the good games in the NFL this week?
We were going to...
That's right. We're going to get to... All right, we'll save that for later.
What in the world?
Check traffic. We'll come back.
Sports! Just sports! We can save it.
Fine. We'll save that. We're going to hear from AJ Preller right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Jack in the Box. Seeing an improvement in speeds now northbound side of the 5 to clear that accident at 8th Street. Only thing working right now, crash in the North County. This is eastbound side of the 78 past Emerald. Tow truck is on scene for this one. Vehicle winning some bushes over the right shoulder. Don't you hate it when you wake up and you realize you've missed breakfast by only a few minutes? At Jack, breakfast has no limits for only $4.50. You can make any time breakfast time when you get 2 of our new breakfast bagels with freshly cracked eggs and melty American cheese on a toasted bagel. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So AJ Preller did pop on with Gwen and Chris yesterday afternoon, I think at 4 o'clock, and discussed the Juan Soto trade. We've heard a lot about the top 2 pitchers the Padres are getting back in Michael King and Drew Thorpe, the 2 targeted guys. But they did ask a little bit more because we haven't really discussed Randy Vasquez or Johnny Brito.
I did retweet from Ben & Woods 100 swings and misses from Johnny Brito
That's cool.
yesterday. It looked awesome.
But they did ask to get a little bit more into those 2 guys.
Yeah, I think the intriguing part for us, they come in as as could go, can fill different roles and have that versatility to be starters or pen options for us. Johnny Brito, he left 90 innings in the big leagues. Had some really, honestly, had some like some dominant moments, and ultimately, again, he's got a history of throwing strikes. And he's able to repeat his delivery. He's got 3 pitches in there, so I think those are elements of a starter that we're going to look at. Randy Vasquez, ultimately never been on the IL. He's got real pitches, real stuff. I think both guys. We'll start the process now of, putting them with our pitching group, having conversation with Ruben and others, Ruben Niebla and others about what's the best role. Part of that will be on the roster. Part of that will be what they show us. I think we're going to give them opportunity to lengthen and start, and then you always have the ability to put them in the back of the pen. And, that was a big part of the deal for us in terms of having that flexibility and seeing, hey, if we got to shorten those guys up and put them in the back of a bullpen, they've got the stuff that probably plays up in a bullpen. But developing young starters, that's always something that we try to do. So I think we're gonna go down either route, and based on where we're at as a team and kind of what they're showing us, we've got the ability to go back and forth with both Brito and Vasquez.
Do you think, Woods, when you hear that answer from AJ Preller, and by the way, Michael King also was a guy who was a bullpen guy last season, and when he did start, they kept him under 80 pitches for the most part in most of his starts. And I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but can you see the Padres doing something like the Giants did last season?
Man,
kind of going with
opener
with an extended bullpen appearance, like a Randy Vasquez then comes in for 5 innings after an opener style, or just a kind of a different looking rotation after Joe Musgrove and Yu Darvish, knowing that you've got guys who can do both, who have done both, but no one's who really been, we're good. Plug him in for 7 innings, and he's fine.
Yeah.
That none of those guys the Padres acquired are necessarily plug in for 7 innings to start a game, and you're good that evening.
Well, I'm old enough to remember the 6-man rotation that Bob Melvin raged against early, then really adopted, and it took us further into the playoffs than we'd been in a long time until we ultimately ran out of pitching again.
But Pedro Avila was that guy too.
He was. Here's the thing. What the Giants did last year, I mean, I don't know that it was sustainable with the talent that they had. I mean, they ran out of gas, and they had a huge swoon early. Do you guys think that it was Bob Remember, Bob did not want to do the 6-man rotation.
No.
He didn't. But he wanted to give guys a little bit more rest, and he had some not older pitchers, but he wanted to give Joe an extra day. Joe didn't really want it. He wanted to give you an extra. He didn't really want it, but it worked for us. I don't know. Can I say from a fan perspective, not what I want to watch. It just purely aesthetically. Here's him for 2, here's him for 3. And we do that for 3 days a week. It's not what I want. I just want to win ball games, though, at the end of the day. And I want to make sure that these guys are ready to go if you make it to October.
I want the Padres to do what works best for them.
Me too.
And they do have, Darvish and Musgrove, hopefully they're healthy.
When
they are.
There's length.
They're 2 of the guys in the league you can actually count on.
Correct.
For length. At least 6, likely 7, sometimes into the 8. Those guys kind of defy the modern pitcher as workhorses still, and they take the ball and they give your bullpen a little bit of a rest, which means you can be a little more aggressive with your bullpen the other days. And if you wanted to do 4 other days that weren't Darvish and Must, throw 4 innings at a time. It's not simply one inning guy after another. But you've got a collective of relievers who you expect to go 3, one time through the order, or 1+ through the order for 3 different guys on a day. And, here's the day, and these 3 guys pitch this day. And maybe it's Brito, Avila, and Cosgrove. And you're getting 4, 3, and 2. And that's your plan for the day. Could you see a scenario where the Padres are kind of employing, and then the next day it's Vasquez, and it's Waldron, and it's someone else, and that's your 3 for the day, and you're giving the rest of your guys the day off and keeping them fresh?
I just don't think it's something that you can. I think it's all fluid, and I think it's got to stay fluid. You can't be, especially baseball these days, the rigidity of it just doesn't work. Here's my 5 guys. You're giving me 7 no matter how you do, and then we got the setup guy and the closer. Yeah, in a perfect world, God, that'd be great, right? You had 5 guys you could trust to give you 6 or 7. Then you got a setup guy, a middle reliever or 2, and get you through, and you got your closer to lock it down 4 or 5 days a week. Be great. It just doesn't work that way anymore. We do overthink it a lot. It will be interesting to see how Mike Schilt, and again, let's just be honest about it. AJ Preller and his team have a lot to do with how the pitchers are deployed on this team. It's not uncommon. It's just not. It's not doesn't make Mike Schilt a puppet. It's just the way baseball works now. Ruben is going to have a lot of say. Ben Fritz is going to have a lot of say. AJ Preller is going to have some say. And Mike Schilt's going to have some say. It's a collective. So you got to be fluid, and you have to be able to get the most out of what you
Yeah,
have. And right now, they don't have a
like
ton.
on a traditional day. Right now, as the roster is constructed, I would envision Joe starts, goes 7, Steven Wilson in the 8th, and Robert Suarez in the 9th.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's looking like right now. They need to do a lot of work on their bullpen. Let's skip ahead to what AJ says. What's the next order of business now that you've completed the Juan Soto trade?
No, I mean, I think, again, I think this deal, like I said, I think it gives us some certainty in terms of where we're at, roster-wise, payroll-wise. We're able to fill, spots on the pitching staff and on the catching side that we had targeted. We'll continue to look for, for a bat, and then another starting pitcher, and then, a couple of pen arms as well. So I think you're starting to see, some depth and some numbers that we're building up. I think honestly there's still a lot of work to be done. I think in each one of the areas from the offensive standpoint, the rotation and the pen, hopefully the first of a few different moves. But I think this gives us a chance now to kind of sit back and I kind of see what's out there, have like a definite understanding of where we're going, because I think there were scenarios where we were going forward with Juan and others without. I think this one now, hey, we made the move. Now we're able to continue going with our roster build for the offseason.
All right, couple of pen arms, and it doesn't mean they have to go after a premier closer or bring Josh Hader back, but they need a back end guy, someone who can at least pitch 7th or 8th inning in the bullpen, and then
Emmanuel Clase would be pretty good here in San Diego, California. Jordan Hicks is available as well. There's a few teams checking in on him and those guys, and if Clase is available in a deal for prospects, along with maybe one of Cleveland's starters, Cook.
I like that.
Into the kitchen. I don't know that it's Bieber. I keep seeing Bieber available. We talked about it a little bit earlier this week. Maybe a reuniting with Ruben Niebla would be phenomenal for him, but the velo is weighed down. Could be some injury, mechanical things going on with him. But Clase at the back end of this bullpen makes me very happy.
Another starter. I'd like to see someone then more in the traditional mold, knowing that you've got these other guys who are maybe 5-inning guys.
Hybrids.
Yeah, you probably want someone who can be a little more of a workhorse. Doesn't have to be a 2 ERA guy, but you can get a 4 ERA guy who you can count on for close to 200 innings. I'd like that. And then I think AJ undersells a little when he says we need a bat. You need
massively undersold.
You need more than a bat.
You need a couple, and they need to be left-handed.
You have one outfielder. You have no left-handers other than Jake, who is reportedly on the trade block. You need 2 bats minimum that you need to acquire either via free agency or trade. 2 minimum, right?
That'd be the 2 outfield spots, and then who's DHing? Who's playing first?
Still about 7 holes.
By the way, I don't consider bringing Jurickson Profar back as one of the bats you're acquiring. I
don't either.
Wouldn't mind bringing Jurickson Profar back, but I don't consider him the solution at any position. I consider him depth and depth only if they do consider bringing him back.
Well, I'm looking through remaining free agents, and it's pretty lean out there, fellas.
Slim pickings?
It's very slim pickings. Lourdes Gurriel's available still. Tommy Pham's still available.
Bring him home.
Michael Brantley to DH, 37 years old. Professional hitter. Profar's out there. Cody Bellinger allegedly wants $250 million, which okay. I mean, I think somebody will pay him that. I don't know that it will be us.
Once Otani's gone, Bellinger's going to start looking more attractive to teams that didn't get Otani.
Yep, that's exactly right. We had Kyle Glazer on yesterday. He said, I wouldn't mind them bringing back Garrett Cooper to play first base. Pretty good hitter. Quiet dude, gets the job done. I really don't have any problem with that. It doesn't do a lot for me. Teoscar Hernandez is out there. Hunter Renfroe still out there, Benny. It's J.D. Martinez is the DH.
Hunter Renfroe is actually looking somewhat appealing, which is worrisome for me now.
Jorge Soler.
Dad would be happy.
Get cut from
Dad
2 or
would
3
be
times
happy with that move.
Your dad would
get Hunter back.
elated.
Always was a fan of Hunter Renfroe.
Jorge Soler, interesting. Yeah, there's some names, but not all great ones.
Trade market.
Time to trade.
All right, we've got Craig Elston in our 3rd hour Friday fun continuing here with Bennett Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Halfway home on a Friday. It's Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Been a long week, a good week. Had a lot of fun this week, certainly. But it's good to be here on Friday with just a couple hours left to go on Shohei Otani Watch. Basically just watching to see where he goes as long as it's not L.A.
Was it a good week? I don't know.
I thought we had a pretty good week on the show.
The Juan Soto news is a gut punch, even if you know the Padres had to do it. Even if you liked the trade, it's still a gut punch of a week.
It was. I meant more like our show, I think.
Just
was,
personally, you felt professionally satisfied this week.
I thought it was a pretty good week. I thought last week was as well. I thought maybe the 6 weeks before that weren't so much. But I thought kind of back on track.
The last 6 weeks have not been good.
But before last week, we were just
between the end of the season and
a little bit of a rut
before last week.
That was me. That's how I felt.
Okay,
so that's just I'm very self-critical, as you know, very critical, hard on myself. But you were fine.
Thanks.
Yeah,
appreciate your validation.
How'd I do?
Paul, you did great.
Yes,
you did great. This is a me thing. This is a beat myself up forever.
Let me just say to you, to put your mind at ease. I mean, you've been better for sure, but you weren't terrible.
I wasn't great
over the last 6 weeks. I don't think you were terrible.
I was not getting of the rest that I needed. This job requires rest. You have to rest your brain and reset your brain, and I wasn't getting it. And I feel a little bit better. Got back in the gym. That always makes you feel better. Those endorphins are real, and it sucks because I will feel better after I do this. This is going to suck, but I know I will feel better. I always do. Not 80% of the time, 90% of the time. It's 100% of the time. Drive to the gym, drag yourself inside, do your workout, and you're like, I feel better. And I knew I would. And it's sometimes just hard to get through it. Yesterday was one of those days. I drove past the gym and I looked at it, and I said, I'm not going today. So quit asking. I'm not coming in there. So,
did it look like it was
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
I was listening to
Woodsy, I'm right here. I'm the gym.
I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I go, nope. not today.
I'm not going to, so quit asking.
Yeah. I was listening to, Paulie and I are big Howard Stern guys, and he lost somebody, a member of the show, but it was a caller to the show, but it was his best friend, essentially, Ralph Sorella. And he passed away, 58 years old.
They're like 12 years apart, and when Howard moved to New York and was doing radio, this kid in high school was like, his mom was driving him to school, and
Listening
he would call
to Stern.
in.
He'd call in
to the Howard Stern show, and he ended up working with him.
Ended up
on the show.
Now this is the funny part, because when you listen to Howard, so I was listening to his remembrance of basically the on-air obituary for Ralph. I couldn't peel myself away. And that was 90% of the reason I didn't want to go to the gym, because I wanted to go get a sandwich and listen to this. And I listened to about 3.5 hours of it. And it was so compelling. It's such compelling radio. I couldn't tear myself away from it. So I was like, I'm not going. And I felt like crap most of the day. So that's what I did instead of getting a lift in, as it were. I listened to that, and it was just really, really good. But it's funny to hear him, because Howard's talking about Ralph was like his stylist. He did his hair. And I thought it always makes my mind wander, like, what if Ben had like a stylist and was like fixing your hair and primping you like during the show?
Oh, the old days of TV.
They had that.
The person who would just put on that last dab of makeup right before they, 5, 4, and they're running in with a little makeup. I've never lived through that era of television. I've only seen it in the movies or on television shows about television shows where people run in to fix that last piece of hair that's out of place, or just you're just a little shiny right here. Let's hit that up. I never had that in TV.
And then I was watching a clip yesterday, an old clip. Don Imus was interviewing Mike and the Mad Dog.
Oh, I saw that.
You see this?
Yeah.
And Mike and the Mad Dog were talking about how they bought 2 racehorses. And all I could think to myself was, there was a time in this business that it paid you well enough that you could go buy racehorses. Not 1, but 2. Now, it's New York. They kind of invented this, what we're doing here. And I just thought to myself, what if we made racehorse money? We don't make racehorse money. Our racehorse money would be like a donkey. We would have a donkey apiece. But I was kind of in the radio.
Maybe
realm
we buy
yesterday.
one of those dogs for the dog track down in Tijuana.
Maybe a greyhound.
Yeah,
perhaps
a little more affordable.
We'd probably have to split it, though, and I'd probably end up doing most of the work on it. So I'm going to pass on it. I'd have to go down and check it out. You're busy. You have another job, the whole thing. But no, so that's what I did yesterday, and I knew I would feel better if I worked out, and I still said, no, I'm not doing it.
I was bummed. Something that actually bummed me out yesterday, and you're going to say, oh, Ben wants to talk golf again. John Rahm going to Live yesterday bummed me out, and not because I'm giant John Rahm fan or hate Live so much. It bummed me out. If you saw the story, he's taking, some people say, up to $600 million.
Seen 4 to 6.
To go to Live on a multi-year deal. And it didn't bum me. I mean, I'm starting to lose interest a little bit, even in professional golf now. I don't want to watch Live, but the PGA Tour keeps getting worse and worse every day. So where am I left with? But that's not why I was bummed. I was bummed because it feels like anybody can be bought now. I mean, I know I could. Could you turn down that kind of money if it was offered to you, Woods? You often say you would never leave this market, San Diego. You love it here, but if the Saudis came to you and said, "We love the Ben and Woods show, and we're going to give you $400 million for the next 4 years to do the show, and then after that, you can do whatever you want for the rest of your life."
Where do I have to move?
Probably so. Well, actually, I mean, if you're John Rahm, you could do the show remotely. You can still do it here. You live here. You do it from a studio in your house.
No,
set it all
I've
up
never
for
said. You know what I've said? I said I don't want to move markets, so I don't think that would happen. But what I wouldn't do is take $1 million a year to go play top 40. I couldn't bring myself out of, and that's a lot more money.
And they're not asking John Rahm to do anything other than play golf.
Right.
That he already does, but it's not the golf he wanted to play. And I saw he did a news conference, he did an interview, and like the rest of them, they all look like almost like hostages.
They look a little embarrassed.
They go in, they look embarrassed, sheepish, and they say, I hope people will still like me and respect me. I just had to do this for my family. It was too good of an offer to pass up. And they've all kind of said the same thing. And it's so unpleasant and so unappealing to know that even people who have tons of money, when someone with that much comes at you, and it's just, what can you say? Like, we're going to back up this entire 27 Brinks trucks worth of money for you because we want to get what we want. And no one can say no to that.
Yeah,
and
I mean, again, for me, it's money. Making money is awesome. It's great, and
you could get racehorses.
We could get that racehorse money. I make more money now than I did when I started, certainly, and I've earned that money, But it's for me, it's about the passion of what I can do. I could probably do it for 6 months, and then it would be so. I had my own show, and I was so miserable by myself. I was so
and I think
miserable.
John Rahm's going to be somewhat miserable on the Live Tour.
Do you?
I think he loved the PGA Tour.
He did, but I don't know.
He talked about it so passionately. I love, Riviera and the history, and I want to win Arnold's tournament at Bay Hill, and I want to win the Memorial. And he'll still get to play the majors, obviously, because he won the Masters and he's qualified for all of them. So he'll probably just focus on those. But I think he's going to end up being bummed when he goes to play in the,
he'll have 500 million
reminders
reminders of why he's,
The problem with him, though, is he did the bit. He did what you can't do. He said, I'm never going. I make enough money. I can get by the rest of my life with what I already have.
And I'd be perfectly happy.
I'd be perfectly happy.
He would be.
That's when they get you.
And he still got. That's what hurt me so much.
Because
he
still
said,
got.
I have enough for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything. I play golf for the love of it and for the competition. And eventually, though, they just kept increasing the dollar figure until even John Rahm could be bought. And I don't know. It's just for some reason to me it was depressing to see that whole story play out yesterday.
It was a little sad, and I love John Rahm too. But it's a lot of dough, and he's
and I don't blame him.
It from
I don't.
Phil.
Yeah, you knew it was coming from Phil. Yeah,
Phil took a little delight.
And you know what? And I expected it from Brooks Koepka after watching Full Swing when that dude said. I was so bad that I never thought I'd make another $1. Of course, I'm taking that money. Of course, didn't think I'd ever win a tournament
and
again.
He also, bristled at some of the, PGA Tour guys that he never really saw eye to eye with.
Yeah.
He came from a different background. So, I'm not mad at any of them.
Mad.
I'm really not.
No.
I do the same thing. I really would. I couldn't say no to that. You not have to stress about any of your kids ever again or their kids, and you just know you've got it forever and ever and ever. I mean, and all they're asking him to do is play golf.
It just gets you because you said it. You said you weren't going, and you went, and that's when it makes you look bad. Like if I went and took a job with Kiss FM after I said I wouldn't because they're paying me $1 million a year. But I think you guys know me well enough to go, he's not going to make it. I bet
you could for 600 million.
Well, 600 million is ridiculous money, but
Right.
but like to go in and have to be like, oh man, did you like?
I know
Did you guys hear-
I know you say that, and I know you believe it.
I really feel that way.
But what happens if, let's say, Hannah loses her job, and you got to support the kids, and you need that money? You would do it because your family's your most
All
important
right, guys.
thing.
Gerald
You
Powell
would
Woods
do
got
it.
that new Olivia Rodrigo single coming up next.
I have to feel fulfilled too. I guess I could. For my family, yeah. I guess
You do
I
it for your
could have to
family
do
for
it.
sure.
Yeah, but not if I was still here and fine. I could support my family with what I make here. I'm good. I'd be fine. But that's just it's tough. Everyone, I'd like to get held to that standard. I'd like to make that decision someday. Right.
That's the latest from Ariana Grande.
Right.
Coming
And
up next, you will not believe what this soccer mom in Kansas City had happen to her in the driveway.
I just, Paulie,
Paulie, you really should do that.
You
John.
really should. Actually.
You're already a pro.
You guys.
What happened to her in the drive? I'm dying to know now.
Dino nails it. Dino in the chat nails it. He goes, we're all saints in hypothetical situations. Yeah, you are not wrong, Dino. You're not wrong.
So easy to take a moral high ground in a hypothetical situation.
I like to feel fulfilled, and this fulfills me greatly. So it'd be tough. It'd be really hard for me to walk away and do something else. But
you find a briefcase full of $100,000. Do you try to find who it belongs to, or keep it, even though you know no one's ever going to find out?
Correct.
You do keep it. All right.
Yes.
You're being honest.
You don't?
Well, I mean,
what do you do? Who lost this? It's $100,000.
Hypothetically, yeah, of course. I'll say, yeah, I'll do the right thing. I'll turn it in. But
I'm taking that even if I know somebody's right behind me
Where
watching.
are you turning it into is the question. You find a briefcase today. You're at the gas station, you fill it up, you look down, there's a briefcase. You go, what the hell? You look around.
I haven't seen a briefcase in 30 years.
Right, because no human being carries a briefcase anymore. You put it in your car, you click, it opens, and there's $100,000.
Combination 0, 0, 0.
You open it up.
$100,000.
You take it to the attendant in the store?
No, I would go to the police station.
Which one? Just the nearest one?
Yeah, probably.
Right up the. There's one right up the road.
There's one right up the road.
Guys, I found this.
Yeah.
You would. Oh, I'm throwing it right in the car. But see, if we've all seen the movie No Country for Old Men, you might turn it in because somebody's missing that money and they're coming to look for you. And it's not going to end
No
pretty
one's just
for you.
forgetting about it.
No, they're not going to forget about it.
Oh, lost the $100,000. I'm sure someone found it and is enjoying it right now.
Yeah.
You're going through security footage. You're taking extreme measures to find it.
God, I know.
License plate. Oh, I see. Okay, he picked it up. He's got the license plate.
Yeah, there's cameras everywhere now.
Yep.
Maybe you do turn it in.
There's cameras everywhere.
Maybe you turn it in. All right, you just swayed me. You swayed me.
All right, we've got Craig Elston coming up at the bottom of the hour, crossing streams. His Sockers are off to a 1-0 start this season. They got a win in their opener last weekend. The Seals open tomorrow night. Woodsy will be on the mic at Pechanga Arena, and Patrick Merrill, their head coach. What is this, season number
This is my
fifth
opening day.
Season for the San Diego Seals.
Crazy how time flies.
Feel like they've really done a nice job getting some traction. The sport is exciting. Lacrosse.
Such a fun night.
Is always a good time when you go down there. So we'll talk to Patrick Merrill coming up at 9 o'clock. Rondell Report, everything else to get you to your end of the show and get you into the weekend, hopefully on a good note. All coming up here after a check of traffic. Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Sour and Ben Woods brought to you by Smart and Final. This holiday season, shop groceries, baking needs in one trip, and that's it. It's Smart and Final. Still no news on Shohei Otani, despite some rumblings earlier this morning that the decision could be coming down today. That Toronto seemed, for whatever reason, whatever the tea leaves are, that they're pointing a little more in the Blue Jays' direction this morning. Woods is not letting himself get
Those are
excited.
the Maple Leaves, not the tea
Yeah,
leaves.
that's the
The
Maple
Leaves are
yeah.
pointing in the direction of Toronto.
Yeah, no, I feel once that starts happening, you know what's happening. He's going to be in Dodger blue, and then we're going to have.
You're envisioning a 2021 trade deadline situation where you think Max Scherzer's coming to the Padres, and then all of a sudden he's a Dodger.
Yeah,
now you're going to think Shohei Otani's going to the Blue Jays, and then all of a sudden
he's a Dodger.
He's a Dodger.
Yep, I really do.
If you're the Dodgers, are you panicking this morning and calling back and go,
probably not.
We'll add another $50 million to the offer?
Probably not. I think they probably know they've got him in the bag. You know,
you're not panicking.
No, I think they have a deal. I think
you think the Dodgers have a deal?
Oh, I think whoever has Shohei Otani has a deal. I think the deal has been agreed on in principle, and he's on his way to sign.
And if you're the Dodgers and you don't have a deal with him, you're not panicking this morning.
No, you are, but I think that they do. I think
that's fine. The Blue Jays are panicking.
Here's the thing. He's done. It's a done deal. This isn't. I don't think today is.
You can't talk him out of it at this point.
I think it's been agreed on in principle, and that's why they're saying it's going to be announced today.
I would say if that's true, and I think you might be right, and it's not the Dodgers, I'm panicking if I'm the Dodgers. My whole strategy the last 2 years was built around signing Shohei Otani, wasn't it?
If you got a call, what's his agent's name? Nez
Balello.
Nez calls you and says he's a Blue Jay, guys, and we're good. We don't want to listen. We're making our travel arrangements right now. Yeah, you're paying.
You'll spin it and go, oh no, we had a lot of different options we could go with. That was one plan. But we're just going to pivot to our other plan. You can talk about pivoting all you want. Your plan for the last couple of years is a massive failure if you're the Dodgers and you don't land Shohei Otani.
Correct.
Yeah, you can sign Yamamoto and say, well, we really needed pitching. This is probably better for us. They will spin it. They will make it sound like this is what they wanted to do all along, whatever they end up doing. But they will be lying. They wanted Shohei Otani. Dave Roberts said it. Top priority. He's the only one who said it. He said he is our top priority this offseason. Even when he was told not to say it, it was so true he had to say it. So if they don't land him, it's egg on the face. It's a repudiation of the organization. It's a repudiation of the city, the one that Shohei knows the best, the one that presumably he's most comfortable in. He's lived in, I don't know what part of L.A. he lives in. Does he live in Anaheim? Does he live in, where does he live? Orange County? Does he live in L.A.? I don't even know.
Jerry Hairston was talking about his beach house, and I can't remember where he said it was.
Probably on the beach somewhere. Yeah, Newport would be my guess.
No,
then.
It wasn't Newport.
No?
I can't remember.
Manhattan Beach?
No, it wasn't Manhattan
Huntington Beach?
No.
Can I just want me to keep naming Orange County beaches?
This is a fun game for our audience.
Laguna Niguel.
No, that's not what I saw.
Ocean Beach.
Redondo Beach.
Nope. Pacific Beach.
Malibu.
Nope. Starts with
Santa Monica.
Starts with a V, maybe?
Well, he lives way up in Ventura.
Beach.
No. Can't remember. See if anybody in the chat knows.
It's an Oceanside. I have no idea where he lives.
He lives in Murrieta, Coronado.
You can actually cut over to Anaheim living from the Inland Empire.
It's
maybe
not Venice.
Corona.
It's not Venice.
Out in Norco, maybe is where Shohei Otani lives. I don't know, but he knows L.A.
Yeah, he knows L.A.
And if he doesn't sign there, it's because he doesn't like it, right? He doesn't like it in L.A. He can sign in L.A., not be with the Angels, be with the Dodgers, trust that they're going to spend what it takes and, consistently put a winning product on the field. And if he doesn't want that, then we know he doesn't like L.A. That's why he's not signing there.
Yeah.
You can say he's not signing with the Angels because, well, he just doesn't trust that they know what they're doing and he wants to win. But you can't say that with the Dodgers. You cannot say that. You can simply say he doesn't want to be in L.A. anymore if he doesn't sign with the Dodgers.
It would be so elite if he signs with the Blue Jays. The way this offseason's gone so far.
Maybe he doesn't like America.
Yeah, maybe he wants to live in Canada.
Like that news anchor said. Canada's just better, apparently.
The way that things have gone this offseason, I'm just bracing myself for the inevitable. It's gonna suck rooting against that guy because I really like him.
And don't listen to this asshat from Los Angeles who doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay, hang on.
Jerry-
You
that was
did
Jerry
very
Hairston
well
Jr.
with that. We don't need to go asshat.
By the way, isn't Jerry Hairston Jr. like Tony Gwynn Jr.'s like best friend?
Yeah, they're tight. They're super tight. Yeah, super tight.
So we're still waiting and seeing, but nothing has been reported. No, it's happening. Tweets out there involving Shohei Otani yet, but the rumor is that something could come down later today, which would then shape what the rest of the offseason looks like.
I know all signs are pointing to Otani wants to kind of get this done and out of the way, and that's totally fine if that's what works for him. Can you imagine if spring training games started and Otani hasn't signed yet? Like, will Ken Rosenthal implode?
He's going to explode. Yeah, the bow tie just spinning around as steam comes out of his ears.
Well, Shohei Otani is under no obligation to sign now.
No.
Now, if it was me, I'd probably want to get it over with and just make the decision.
100%.
I don't know that he's getting more money by waiting, but I also don't think, and no one's saying, hey, here's the deadline. Say yes or no. The offer is only good for another 2 days, and then we're pulling it. They're not. It's Shohei. He can wait as long as he wants. But if I'm him, I want to start getting acclimated, comfortable, finding where I'm going to live. I don't want to put that off till the last second. You know what you want. At some point, he's going to come to the decision, and he's going to announce it. It doesn't make any sense to wait until January or February to say it now.
It is wild, though, to wake up to the decision is now imminent. He's really the only one I'm seeing reporting on that too. So,
but it's weird if Shohei Otani is so secretive, where is that news coming from?
Where does that come from?
I mean, if he's made the decision, then someone with that team then knows the decision, and will maybe just let the tiniest bit slip, the old sly wink, nod. Is that what that's coming from?
Tweeted out the friggin' maple leaf. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. So, but listen, if you're a Dodger fan, I think you're in good shape.
I mean, you don't tweet out the Canadian flag emoji.
Yeah.
Unless you're pretty damn confident.
I mean, here's the thing, though. What's the repercussion, Paulie?
If it's wrong?
Have any of these guys lost their jobs?
No.
Does anybody? I mean, people still,
especially for just a tweet like that.
Yeah.
You didn't even say anything specifically.
He'll be no longer welcomed in Toronto.
Right. I mean, people still bring up the Ken Rosenthal, Max Scherzer thing. I mean, you get dragged, but I get dragged all the time.
Arson Judge.
Yeah, Arson Judge still gets, that bit gets dragged. But what are the real repercussions of being wrong, really? There's not. There's really none for these guys. You lose a little credibility, but how much did you have in the first place? So, I just.
But what are the? Is there any really rewards for being first and right?
That's the other thing. It's not like you get a bonus. It's ego.
I mean, eventually, if you're always first and right, if you're Woj, if you're passing and you've got that much credibility, sure, it's good for your career, probably better in your contract negotiations when you're the top dog and you get the most scoops and you're the most accurate. But for one guy getting one scoop one day doesn't do anything for you.
No, and even Passan credited Morosi, who was on the Soto thing the other day. So it's the nature of the business. It's not always my favorite part of it, but we roll. We get through it, and again, I hope it comes down. I hope it comes down the next hour and a half. That'd be a lot of fun to talk about where he's going.
He just tweeted on Shohei Otani. Remember that the physical exam will be extensive for a record-setting contract. Here's the backpedal. Even if Otani makes his choice in the next 24 hours, as expected, the agreement may not be finalized for several days due to the medical review process.
Can you imagine if this is a Carlos Correa situation and all right, he's going to Toronto. Hold on.
Medicals.
Yeah, medicals are not looking good. And he ends up back in the Angels on a 1-year deal.
Yeah. The Correa thing remains one of the craziest things I've ever seen. 3 teams that do. Was it Mets, Giants? It was Giants, Mets.
There was
back to the Twins.
The 2 hours on Wednesday where we thought, could this Soto trade fall through?
Yeah.
And it was so many people had reported it. It was done. You were waiting on the passing bomb. But there was that little glimpse where you're like, Maybe. And I started thinking, I'm like, you go back to the Scherzer thing, the arson judge, Carlos Correa. There's been a lot of weird stuff happening in baseball media over the last couple of years when it comes to transactions, whether it's trades or free agent signings. It's all been in the last couple of years. It's been so strange. I'm like, at this point, nothing would really surprise me.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Today is the anniversary of his decision to go to the Angels. So pretty odd. 6 years later, I think.
If you get the news tonight between 6 and 7, you may hear it during the Boomer and Valenti show here on 97.3 The Fan each Friday night at 6 o'clock. Do all their picks, breaking down the entire slate of NFL games right here and on the Odyssey app. It is brought to you nationally by Casamigos Tequila. Casamigos brought to you by those who drink it. And by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. Craig Elston may have some thoughts on this subject. He will join us next. Our weekly Crossing Streams segment always gives us some great television recommendations as well. That is coming up next on Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Don't forget, last chance this week to stay tuned and listen to see if your name gets called at 9:15 a.m. in our biggest fan contest. Your chance to win a night in our Odyssey Suite next season with friends, family, and 97.3 The Fans hosts. The biggest fan contest is presented by the San Diego Seals. Tickets are on sale now at sealslax.com. Craig Elston is standing by. It's a Crossing Streams Friday. He will join us right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your 15-minute instant drive-thru oil change. Got a stalled car on the coastline now, southbound 5 Palomar Airport Road. It's taken up the slow lane. Accident clearing in the East County on the 2nd Street on-ramp to westbound 8. Car and semi involved in this one. And someone didn't secure their load of gravel northbound 805 right at the eastbound 54 connector. And I get a bunch of rocks and gravel in the roadway. Looks like they're going to have to bring in a sweeper to clear all that. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change centers. You don't have to get out of your car. It usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for discounts. Locations nearest you. Valvoline Oil Change centers are open 7 days a week. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I'll start by congratulating Craig and the Sockers on a season-opening victory over Tacoma last week. 11 goals. Very impressive performance as we welcome Craig for his weekly visit here on Ben & Woods. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, fellas. Great to see all of you. Excited also for Seals coming up. I know Coach Merrill coming up at the top of the hour, so arena sports starting to go strong at Pechanga Arena. Should be a fun one. Sockers, by the way, play tomorrow night up in Tacoma. So, go to the Seals match and then find out what happened afterward on Twitch. But back at home next Sunday, the 17th. Also, Ben, shout out to Christina Perez, San Diego Wave FC. She sent me a text. I rarely do requests, but I think she wanted to prove how influential and important she is in my life. The master of the match day for San Diego Wave FC, the person who makes the presentation so smooth. So shout out, Christina.
This is the first time we've talked to you, Craig, in the PSE, the post Soto era, and wanted to get your thoughts. It was. I imagine you're probably like us. Like we knew it was coming. When the tweet comes out, it still makes you go, huh, you tense up a little bit and go, and then you go through the 5 stages of anger, and then you get to acceptance and say, all right, let's ride with these new arms that we may have in the rotation in the bullpen.
Absolutely. And, we did a Padres hot tub, like 20 minutes after the trade was officially announced with all of our listeners, and my co-hosts Rafi and Chris were resigned or upset. Chris was mad. I wasn't mad. I was relieved. Tell me the rules of the game and I'll play. The Padres weren't going to be able to do anything keeping Juan Soto other than trade more guys and try and rearrange the deck chairs. And I don't think a Darvish, Musgrove, Waldron, Avila, Groom rotation had any chance to put up a winning record this year, no matter how great Juan Soto played in his contract season. I think Juan Soto is a great player. Obviously, it was a gigantic swing for the Padres to get Juan Soto. And 2023 was the most disappointing year in Padres history. I started the season calling it the most consequential, and then it seemed like nothing was going to happen, and a whole lot happened as a result of 2023 and of not making the playoffs. I've even got further thoughts on this, guys, but I kind of feel this was a check come due moment. This club traded a lot of prospects the past 4 years to bring in frontline players whose contracts expired, and they didn't have that next wave ready to come up and supplement. It's a year behind. And I think the check came due a year earlier than AJ Preller wanted on his farm system. He was hoping it would get up here in time. And instead, this was the move that had to be made to get to a point where now we can have a fun club again this year with a chance to make some moves in the coming weeks.
I will go a step further. Woods called it the post-Soto era. I don't think there was a Soto era of Padres baseball. I think Juan Soto was a phase of a larger era, which brings me to a story we talked about yesterday, Craig, that Tom Verducci wrote in Sports Illustrated, pretty much saying it's over. Well, the Padres were trying to be competitive, and now it is over.
Those cute little Padres.
That fun little run.
And I really disagreed with that very strongly, that take, that somehow this is a pivotal moment in Padres history, the trading of Juan Soto. certainly anytime you trade a big player, it's a big moment, but I don't see this as a changing of directions. How much do you see it as a changing of directions for the Padres, if at all?
This is how I see it. I used a basketball analogy because I figure AJ's good with these. He was double teamed and trapped in the corner with his situation. He was facing a double team trap in the corner. He had nowhere to go.
He shoots
And
usually when that's the case, but yeah.
Now he's at the top of the key. Now he's at the top of the key. He can go left, he can go right, he can pull up, he can drive to the hoop. He's got optionality again for this club. I thought it was a ridiculous, lazy, national, I got to write something.
Yeah.
Editor told me to write something type story from a very respected and respectable writer in Tom Verducci, because it's nonsense, quite frankly, to say that the window's over. That's it. Now, if the Padres had held on to Juan Soto, not improved their team because they were up against a number wall, had a bad year, traded him in the middle of the year, turned 2024 into a kind of a dumpster, well, that would feel like the end of something, wouldn't it? Or let him go at the end of the season, nothing to replace him with. I really push back against the folks who were like, well, this was a salary dump. And my buddy Joe Sheehan said it. AC essentially wrote the same thing this morning. And I'm putting it on the Padres right now. This better not be a salary dump.
No kidding.
We have heard on your station from the CEO, $200 million. We've heard top 10 payroll. And the Padres, if they utilize the $30+ million of wiggle room that they just created themselves with this trade, combined with 4 pitchers they just added, and a pretty dang good backup catcher that solves that situation, boom, done. I feel like they're in a great position to make this team more flexible, lighter, and better.
I agree with you, actually, Craig, but it almost lets AJ Preller off the hook too much to call it a salary dump, to blame a lowering of payroll and say, oh, well, Peter Seidler's passing, whatever. No, this was because AJ didn't do his job well enough for too many years and put himself, as you said, in the bad position in the double team, and he had to do some, escape artist work to get out of it by trading Juan Soto. And he did a pretty good job as far as I could see, but he got into this position because he didn't do his job well enough the last 3 or 4 years.
I couldn't agree with you more. To flesh out the analogy, he over-dribbled himself into the corner, okay? So he put himself in that corner. However, I mean, we can look at the contracts, right? And I think if you agree that if you don't sign Bogarts and you don't give Manny the preemptive extension, well, now you have the optionality to do anything you want, right? You could have gone out, you could have made Shohei the number 1 priority. You could have made Yamamoto the number 1 priority. Anything, Soto, you could have made Soto the number 1 priority. Anything you wanted to do. But the team made those decisions. But I go back further. I go back to 2020 and being 35 games into a 60-game season, and deciding to trade 10 minor leaguers that were on the cusp of the bigs for a catcher that didn't work out, Nola, and a pitcher that didn't work out, Clevenger. And I think that deadline is honestly, they always talk about the decision tree.
Yeah.
Because trees have branches, but they also have roots. And I see the roots of the Soto trade all the way back to the deadline in 2020. And you can go, Cal Quantrill and this and that, those were the big league ready players that were the depth line for San Diego. And then, of course, the next group in 2021 moved out. And the Musgrove trade was great. The Darvish trade was great. There was a lot of great
Don't
trades,
forget about the Clevenger trade at the same time that didn't work out either.
You
did say that.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Nola and Clevenger,
Craig.
those 2 deals, 10 players out for 2 bad players in and a couple relievers that stuck around for a couple weeks. That's what that's what put us behind. There's no depth here. And then for the last 2 years, we've been talking about, well, look at all this money, but oh my gosh, when 2 guys get hurt, the next guy at AAA is who, right? So I really think AJ was hoping he'd have that depth back up at this point. Now they can see it. It's a year away. Now it looks good.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Thorpe and Mazur and Lesko, and we've got a group coming again. This is exciting, but now the check came due on adding that layer of depth to King Brito Vasquez. And that's what trading Soto allows them to do.
Really well said, Craig. And I know there's probably a couple of other guys feeling pretty uneasy right now, hearing their name mentioned. And when you're a San Diego Padre, I would say, well, if you're signed to a long-term deal, you're in good shape. Manny, Xander, probably chilling, thinking they're going to be in Padres uniform next year. Jake Cronenworth just got re-upped to a bigger deal, and now his name is on the market, Craig. What are your thoughts on, and I know how you feel about his production-wise. I know how you feel about him as a person. Who's taking him, and for what? And what are you going to have to pay, and what are you going to have to attach? Is that a savvy move to dump that contract right now?
Well, on a theoretical level, it is, because it was a really unsmart decision for the club to make, to kind of lock themselves into a corner. And again, talking about being, put into the corner. Jake Cronenworth was put into the corner, literally first base, corner position.
Yes.
He's a second baseman. He's a good one. But when you signed Bogarts and you have Kim, Cronenworth goes over to first. Now he's a misfit. Now he's trying to homer all the time. He turned himself into a 3 true outcome player, striking out all the time with runners in scoring position, trying to hit homers. Kind of turned it around a little at the end of the year. Then he got hurt. And by the way, the team played a lot better when they put Garrett Cooper in at first base on a regular basis. Trading Cronenworth is something they should have done last year. That would have been the proactive thing this time last winter around a Bogart signing, would have been a Cronenworth trade when he had a much higher value, and he had the ability for the other team to say, okay, controllable, 2 more years, etc. Now with the deal is still not a terrible deal, but you got to find the right fit. I don't think you have to attach a real prospect to Jake Cronenworth to get somebody to take him, but all of a sudden, guys, Soto out, Grisham out, Cronenworth out. This entire team's right-handed.
Right-handed, man. Right-handed heavy. We talked about it yesterday for 30 minutes. I mean, unless Tom Cosgrove can swing it from the left side, that's it. And you don't have arms that are lefties either. So we need some southpaws in here ASAP.
Yeah, and in a way that again limits. I heard you guys when I was dropping the kid off at school going, well, who's on the free agent market? Like, well, JD Martinez sounds like a pretty good
right-handed
DH, but right-handed. Soler, right-handed. Renfroe, right-handed.
They almost have to get Jung Hoo Lee now.
They have to get Jung Hoo Lee.
You
damn near probably have to bring back Jerson Profar at this point. I mean, seriously, like, left-handed hitters are at a premium. We don't have any, and Matt Carpenter is not one you're going to want to roll out there every day again. You just don't.
Yeah, agreed. Rowdy Tellez is a guy.
Tellez, a lefty.
Yeah. Re-signed Cooper.
Little bit lefty.
Righty. I mean, that's another righty.
He's a righty.
Righty.
It's nuts, dude. It is nuts. Which is why I really thought Verdugo would be coming back here in the Soto deal. I was like, I'd bet a good amount of money Verdugo is going to be our starting left fielder next year. No, they're keeping him. Now, I'm sure a deal could be worked out for an Alex Verdugo with Brian Cashman. Not that I would want him, but lefties are going to be at a premium, Craig.
Recommendation. We got like 3 minutes left, so let's get to our Crossing Streams pick of the week with Craig Elston.
All right, guys. It was a couple of years ago that the biggest sensation in streaming was Squid Game, South Korean drama that appeared on Netflix and really broke a ton of barriers in terms of its ingenious plot, the unique, deadly games played within the show, and the fact that a show from Korea in Korean with subtitles could become the most popular thing in the United States. Well, boy, did it ever. And Squid Game 2 dramatically is on the way, but Netflix didn't want to wait that long and created and are now unveiling, and all 10 episodes available, a reality competition that is Squid Game minus the death. And that's
do they get close to the death?
They do. So
I've
watched the first couple of episodes, and I didn't even watch Squid Game.
See, I watched the show and I loved it. I haven't seen the new game show yet.
I can say, and Craig, you can agree with me, I've never seen more stressed contestants of any show, any game show in the history of game shows than the people that they've got onto this show. They're like panicking at every moment of this show.
And it has all of the dread, and kind of deadly feel of Squid Game. The difference is, instead of getting a gunshot to the head when you fail a game, they shoot you with an ink packet.
It's like a paintball, but it just like explodes and you're dead.
Exactly.
Ben and Wood
just like a
Squid
squib.
Game sounds like a good bit idea. I like that.
So, I mean, it's Squid Game. So it started with red light, green light, and 456 contestants, and each contestant that's eliminated puts $10,000 into a giant piggy bank that's above this antiseptic dormitory where the 456 players compete. After the first contest, over half of them are eliminated, and it's going to get down to one person winning $4.56 million. Now, in Squid Game, it's supposed to leave a trail of 455 dead bodies in the wake. Instead, it's just eliminated reality contestants. And I'd say the weakness of the show is that you can't meet 456 reality contestants on a 10-episode show. So there's a whole lot, especially in the first half of the season, of anonymous person gets eliminated, and you don't really have much of a feeling about it. But they do a good job of developing some characters along the way. I'm on episode 9 right now, when we're down to the final 9, and it's getting pretty damn intense. So if you enjoyed anything about Squid Game, or if you enjoy reality competition and the idea of 456 people competing for $4.56 million, always under the threat of death, Squid Game, the challenge is for you. Watch it on Netflix.
Thank you, Craig. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
All right. Take care, boys.
There he goes, Craig Elston. Yeah, I did watch the first couple of episodes. I mean, these people are biting their nails and just like wringing their hands, and they are terrified of being eliminated at any second that they could be just out of this contest for $4.56 million.
That's a lot of dough. Is there
that this weekend?
Is there anything we can take and do to you, like Ben and
like
Wood's
the cookie challenge?
What is that?
It's you have to like lick this cookie and keep licking it and soften it, and if you break it, you're dead.
All right, deal.
Well,
done.
Christmas show.
We'll have to figure it out. How it works.
Thank God! Keep them coming.
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah, it's Squid Games.
The cookie
gnarly.
lick.
Yeah, gnarly. Yes. All right, we will come back. We've got Patrick Merrill, head coach of the Seals, joining us as they get ready to start another season. Ryle report. Final hour of Ben and Woods next on The Fan. Final hour of Ben and Woods for the week, and I think the dynamics of this interview are going to be interesting. We often talk about, we're the Padres flagship station, but that doesn't prevent us from criticizing the team or being honest with our opinions, asking tough questions. But Woods, you actually do work for the San Diego Seals.
I do.
You're the public address announcer. You got a new season starting tomorrow. How tough can you be interviewing the head coach of the Seals here? Do I have to ask all the tough questions?
Well, how tough can you be when they haven't even played a game yet?
It's a good point. It's a good point. And we're joined right now by head coach of the San Diego Seals. Patrick Merrill is with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Coach, good morning.
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Doing good, man. How are you? I'm really excited to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm super excited as well. Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks.
Good, man. I've been watching the War on the Floor. So they did a documentary series on the Seals. It was the first year after COVID, and you get a real good look at what the league is like. You get a lot of insight as to how these guys' lives are. It's always been the most fascinating part for me is how hard they play, how much they give, and how little money they make, and the travel associated with it, Coach. It is crazy the logistics that go into putting on this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think I haven't seen the docu-series yet myself.
Wait. There's an entire documentary about you.
Yeah, you're all over it, man.
And you haven't watched it. That's fascinating to me.
Well, I mean, I think for a couple of reasons, it's a little cringe for me. But also, I know how it ends.
Yeah, true.
So, but at the end of the day, I think it is a good. I hear it's really well done.
It is,
and it's a good look into kind of the lifestyle of our league and being a professional athlete in our sport. But yeah, I mean, we do it because we love it and because we think that this game has a big future and we think it's the best sport on earth. So. I'm glad they were able to do that and show a little bit of that side of our lifestyle.
My only criticism, Coach Pat Merrill from the San Diego Seals, is it needed more me. It was very much lacking.
Light on Woods.
I heard my voice a couple times, but no, man. I mean, look, big. Opening day is always fun. Get these guys back together. We have a lot of new faces, a lot of fresh faces. The team has been willing, the owner has been willing to bring in good talent. You as the GM and coach, you've brought in some great talent. None better, in my opinion, than the great Trevor Baptiste. I don't expect us to lose a face-off all year, which I know has been an issue for us since we started, pretty much. The dude is one of the best in the business. He's tough as nails. He is an absolute legend in the game, and now he's ours. How excited are you to have Trevor?
Very, very excited. I think, to your point, Woodsy, I think, first of all, the more we can get you on camera, the better.
Agreed.
Agreed. But I would agree. So, but I mean, since our inception, our first year, we've always had a pretty high octane offense. We score a lot of goals. We have a pretty physical and exciting style of defense that we play. But the face-off X is such an important part of the game. The more face-offs you win, the more you have the ball in the sticks of guys like Doby and Stats and Dixon and Berg, etc. So and Trevor is the best in the world, and he's also just not a face-off guy. He brings a lot of leadership characteristics to our team off the floor, but he's also a really good defender, and he's a great competitor. I think the fans in San Diego here are gonna fall in love with him pretty quickly.
When Coach says he's the best on this planet, literally the best on this planet.
So as a non-lacrosse expert, one thing that always struck me when I went to games is how important those face-offs are, because you think, okay, well, one team scores and then the other team gets the ball. No, you go right back to a face-off. So if you have a good face-off guy, you could kind of control and go down and score, win a face-off, go down and score.
Yes,
you
dude.
can really,
It's nuts.
I'd imagine, Coach, you can really go on like big runs occasionally that the other team can't do when you have a strong face-off player like that.
No doubt. You're bang on. You really can, control the pace and complexion of a game, and it is very much a game of runs, right? To your point. So, to be able to stop the bleeding when another team's got some momentum. And then also, like you said, to extend your runs or go on runs. You're never out of an NLL game, no matter what the score is. Especially if you have a really good face-off guy.
It's Patrick Merrill, coach and GM of the San Diego Seals, my beloved Seals. Our 5th opening night tomorrow night. Tickets can be bought at sealslax.com. It's such a fun night out. One thing I noticed is some of the guys that we brought in. Are you trying to? Was there a toughness factor that you wanted to bring this year? Because I noticed, Kyle Rubish is here now. Like, we're not going to be backing down from many. And, of course, your brother, first ballot Hall of Famer, he's retired, Brody Merrill, the captain. He was like the toughest guy I've ever seen. You have to replace that, don't you? And I know you guys have worked hard to bring in some more tough guys for this team. It's a very physical and violent game, and I like the physical and violent guys you've brought in.
Yeah. That was definitely a point of emphasis for us, or a focus point over the course of the off season, was to, bring in guys that made us, a little bit more, tough to play against in lots of different types of ways. But Kyle Rubish, obviously can't ever kind of replace Brody,
right,
with the career that he had and the type of leader he was for us. But to be able to acquire Kyle Rubish, that's perennial for decades, have been one of the best defenders in the league. And he's like a grizzly bear out there, right? Like, he's literally built that way and plays that ferocious style. So, I think that's going to really help. But again, we want to be tough to play against at both ends of the floor. And we felt like we added some guys that are able to do that and do the dirty work, so that, our talent can eventually take over.
I guess I'm going to have to be the one to ask the tough question then, to wrap it up, because the Seals dominated last year in the regular season, but you lost in the playoffs.
Oh, it was so brutal.
And, like another baseball team that we don't like, dominating in the regular season is great. But if you don't have playoff success to back it up,
that's right,
you can never really establish a legacy. Is there anything you learned, like from last season, to avoid that happening again, or is it almost impossible to do anything now to prepare for the playoffs later in the year?
Number one, pipe down when you're talking to my coach and general manager here. All right, settle down with your hot take. Jeez,
No, but I appreciate your support there, Woodsy, and having my back. But
always,
I was fully prepared to answer this question, and because this city deserves a championship, and that's what we're here to do and accomplish. And we felt like every year that we've been in this league, it's not an easy league to make the playoffs. There's a lot of parity in the league, and there's no easy games in this league, but but we haven't been able to get over the hump, and we've made the playoffs every year, and got put out twice to the team that's kind of gone on and won the championship. So we're sick of learning those type of lessons. I think you have to learn how to respond from tough losses to be able to get over the hump and win the playoffs. But like I said, we're tired of learning those type of lessons. We feel like this team has a championship mindset and is built to win a championship, and you got to get in first, and you have to have a good regular season record to get in. But we're not hanging our hat on regular season success anymore. This team is built to win, and we're going to do whatever we can to get there.
He was ready to answer my tough question. Very well done, Coach. Good luck,
Coach. See you
tomorrow night, all season long. We're looking forward to it, and we appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks a lot, fellas. Always a pleasure. Love listening to you. See you tomorrow night. Woodsy, I can't wait.
I can't either, man. So hyped. Oh, my God.
Patrick Merrill, head coach of the San Diego Seals. If someone made a Ben and Woods documentary that was airing on like a major streamer.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. You can watch it.
I would probably watch it, I would think. A Ben and Woods documentary.
You would
avoid watching it?
When I hear my voice on commercials, I panic and I turn the channel. So
Really?
I maybe not. I maybe wouldn't.
Huh.
You don't want to see what
So you got to know though how they how they put it together and how you were
He's intense he is as intense of a dude as I've ever met. His brother Brody was our captain. Again, I've gotten a chance in this job, Ben, to be around a lot of athletes. And there are very few athletes I enjoy covering as much as I like covering these guys. You want to talk about, everyone always says, man, I wish these guys play hard, wish they played for the city, wish they played for the team, wish they played for each other. Dude, you will not find a better example. They give so much, and they get their ass kicked out there. And it's my favorite part of the game, just watching them compete. The competition is incredible. They are magicians with that stick and that ball. Never thought I would fall in love with it as much as I have. And I rarely do I wish the games were on Friday night because I'm tired after the week. I can't believe I have to sit and wait like another 36 hours to get out to Pechanga tomorrow night and watch the game. So I'm as big a fan as you will find in the arena.
Before we get to our biggest fan, we got about 4 minutes before the name. Snell and Dodger are both trending on Twitter right now, but I don't see they're not together, and I don't see any news in particular about either of them. Obviously, they're talking a lot of Otani stuff. The Dodgers, the Blue Jays are getting mentioned in all of those stories, and I can't figure out why Snell and Dodger and Friedman and San Francisco Giants are all trending now on my Twitter feed at the moment. So gonna have to figure that out. Did see a rare tweet from Jesse Agler just a couple of minutes ago. Says, not going to lie, all the wild Otani, dog, flight, restaurant, etc. stuff is highly entertaining.
It is. It is entertaining. It doesn't bother me at all. Mostly because I know we're out of the mix. So it's not, I think we're out of the mix.
I saw someone, just wait for Shohei Otani to book the private plane, land in Toronto, and announce, I'm going to the San Francisco Giants.
Right, exactly.
Just wanted to say it here in Toronto that I'm going to be joining the San Francisco Giants in the ultimate misdirection of all time by Shohei Otani, who has really controlled this process like no other free agent has ever controlled the process before, and leaving everybody wondering. And we don't even know if there's going to be a decision today.
No, we have no idea.
We don't know that there is. It's started to build like a snowball down the hill that just keeps picking up momentum. But there's no guarantee that this ends with the decision today, tomorrow, or even in the next week. He can take as much time or as little time as he wants. Everybody's waiting for him. He's got the baseball world in his grasp. Yeah, okay. I know what you're going to say. That's all right. I don't use those kind of metaphors.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's
Yes.
got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
You going to sing the song?
Uh-huh.
We got the whole...
I got to get you audio of my son Taylor singing Feliz Navidad. It's maybe the best thing.
Hannah, can you send this to me? I would really like to hear it.
But you ask him to do it, and he won't do it.
Will he do it for the Christmas show?
That's what I'm trying to get. Feliz da-dee-da. It's the funniest thing. It's so good. And then when he does I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, is what he says. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. It's the cutest thing you've ever heard in your life. I digress.
I was going through some old Christmas extravaganza stuff yesterday, actually, just kind of in preparation for this year's show. Remember, we had Bo.
Merry Christmas, bitches.
Forgot about that entirely.
You made it. Our show open last year was a little bit different. We didn't have the big, giant produced open. We just gave it to Bo.
Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with me.
Now we need Feliz Navidad.
We have to have
it. I want them both there live.
Peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be.
So listening to that now and then hearing him at home, he's like, "Hey, Dad, can you fix me a sandwich?" It's so weird because he's just a little baby.
All are we. Let me walk with my brother. In perfect harmony.
Harmony.
Let this be my moment now. With every step I take, you take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally.
Wow. Forgot all about that.
That's a lot for, what was he, three at the time when he did that one?
Crushed it.
That was amazing.
Sweet angel.
People are starting to get a little desperate if they haven't heard their name yet in the biggest fan contest. Tevin just offered to bribe me with golf in Palm Springs if I would call Tevin's name. I'm sorry, I cannot be bought. We need integrity on the biggest fan contest, and it is time to announce one more name this week on the Ben and Wood Show. If you hear your name, you'll have 10 minutes to call us back and qualify for our grand prize drawing. The Suite Night, 20 tickets to a 2024 Padres name in the Odyssey Suite. Watching with your friends, family, and all of the fan hosts. Today's biggest fan, Ryan Kennedy from El Cajon. Ryan, you are on the clock, 833-288-0973. Good luck. Call us back in the next 10 minutes. Get your name in for the grand prize drawing. The biggest fan contest presented by the San Diego Seals and Coach Patrick Merrill. Tickets are on sale now at Seals Lax. That's Seals, LAX.com.
Now, I know we're about to go to break. We usually get a traffic update here at this time. I hope everything's going okay out there on the roads. Did you hear Kelly's last traffic update?
No.
What did Kelly do?
Right before
was there
Craig
a ladder
Elston
in the
joined
roadway
us.
again?
There's something in the road.
Accident clearing in the East County on the 2nd Street on-ramp to westbound 8. Car and semi involved in this one. And someone didn't secure their load of gravel north on
Are
805.
you doing bits now? Is she doing? We have really.
You never know what you're going to get with Kelly.
We have really.
She was Spitfire at the holiday
And someone
party.
didn't secure their load of gravel.
You didn't alter
Kelly's-
that,
I
Paulie?
swear to God.
You
I
promise?
Kelly is spicy.
I boosted the audio to make it a little bit louder. I did not touch
You
anything.
didn't space
That
it or
pregnant
anything?
pause,
Everyone thinks
that was
Woods
all-
is spicy. Kelly really DGAF. She is the
And someone didn't
spiciest one
secure their
around here.
load of gravel.
That's unbelievable. Holy
All right, let's
cow.
find out what she's
I looked
got.
up, I was like, is nobody you guys missed that
missed it.
entirely.
No, I missed it, yeah. Let's
Wow.
find out what she's got next for you on the traffic report, and then we'll be back with more Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. You worried me there for a second.
Did I?
Yeah. Woods goes, Heisman Trophy tonight? I go, no, it's tomorrow. I think it's always on that Saturday after the conference championship games. Had the finalists down to the final four. Bo Nix, Michael Penix Jr., Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr.
It'd be interesting to give it to a wide receiver like Marvin Harrison Jr., who's a really good player. But
they never do anymore. Used to be.
My man Timmy Brown won it, and I was so excited.
Running backs used to get it.
Running backs used to get it.
It's a quarterback trophy now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. What are the latest odds? Is it Daniels the favorite now, or is it Penix the favorite?
I thought it was Daniels.
I haven't seen the latest odds, but it's going to be one of a closer vote than we've had in recent years, I think.
I think it is going to be close.
I saw Harrison's not sure if he's entering the draft next year. He's still undecided about whether or not he wants to come back. Everybody's entering the transfer portal. Everybody. It's just, even Ohio State's starting quarterbacks is in the portal. Dabo was, lamenting
he
portal.
Needs to just hang it up, dude. Like
just ruining sports, ruining football.
Imagine Dabo at home. His wife's probably like, God, if you're listening, please let this man retire and do something. He hates college football. Dabo's when he hates college football. He hates where it's going. He has threatened to quit many, many times if they do this transfer portal stuff, and he's losing it.
BetMGM has Jaden Daniels as the favorite.
Okay.
Heavy favorite.
Heavy?
Oh, he's
really?
heavy.
Oh, it's heavy
Minus
now.
1,400.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Michael Penix Jr. is at plus 900. Bo Nix plus 2,200.
It's not an entirely. This doesn't happen in a vacuum because the voters, and there's a lot of them. There's hundreds of Heisman voters, but their opinions start to be published out there.
Yeah.
And you can start counting. It's like Hall of Fame votes. They got that Hall of Fame tracker for baseball, and you don't know the final results until the final results. But when 9 out of 10 people are voting for a guy, you can be pretty sure they're going to get in. And when 1 out of 10, you can be pretty sure they're not. So as you start hearing these opinions coming out, it becomes a little more clear. So I guess Jaden Daniels is actually fairly overwhelmingly now favored to win the Heisman Trophy out of LSU, and they will announce that tomorrow. Got the Army-Navy game tomorrow. Coach has been there yesterday and today. They're playing at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts this time around.
See, they're having Bill Belichick on to do the picks.
But it's only the one pick, right? Because there's only one game tomorrow.
No, they do College Game Day.
They do College Game Day, but there's no other games unless he's doing like the whole
maybe the playoffs
Division
and stuff.
2 and the FCS playoffs and stuff.
You could pick ahead
like
too,
bowl games
if you wanted to.
But there's no games until the
games.
following Saturday,
Right.
so I assume they'll do it
Just
again.
one pick. Just probably all he would sign off on anyway. I'll come in. I'll do the one.
Navy.
Yeah,
and that's going to be his entire appearance on College Game Day.
Yeah.
Who do you got, Coach?
Navy.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks so much
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I wonder if he'll be. We have seen him be a little bit more loose, in maybe not his pressers, but he's been a little bit more.
As long as you're not asking him about the Patriots,
I think
sometimes
you're
he's okay.
Yeah, ask him about anything else.
There's rumors that he's going to be traded
Bill
in the
Belichick?
offseason. Yes.
Yeah. I've heard
to
the
another
Chargers
team.
are a potential.
I have
landing
heard that
spot
as
for
well.
him.
I'm almost cheering now for the Chargers to win a couple of games down the stretch so they keep Brandon Staley.
It's the Dave Roberts thing. You're like, I'm actually pretty good.
Because if they totally collapse, they're gonna fire Brandon Staley, and I don't know I want that.
It's that whole. You ever see that tweet that says, "Ha ha ha! This is so fun. This is me reaping." And then, this is me sowing, and then, this sucks. This is me reaping. It's like that. Like if Dave Roberts lost his job, you'd be like, ha, and then you're like, oh, God, what if they get somebody better?
It's the Chargers, though. If they somehow land Bill Belichick as coach in the offseason, they will get Bill Belichick of the last 3 years, not Bill Belichick of the Tom Brady era.
My man, though.
He has Justin. He would have Justin Herbert.
That's the thing. Is that's what you get. You get a good quarterback to work with, and he's been pretty good with good quarterbacks.
Belichick can't even tank right.
I know. Go out and win that game.
Pull out a win last night when no one, even Patriots fans, don't want them to win games at this point. And now they're almost assuring that, who is it, the Bears will get the number one pick because they have the Panthers' number one selection. So, and now Justin Fields is starting to play, he's back and playing better. And it's like, now what do we take a quarterback? Everyone's kind of unsure of how this draft and this offseason is going to play out.
Did you want to get to your
sure.
games?
I think
now is a good time for it.
I think it is a pretty good group of games. The morning games on Sunday, so you're like red zone channel. You'll have Jacksonville at Cleveland, which, I mean, two franchises that don't mean much, but two teams with winning records, and that's a huge game with lots of playoff implications. You got the Rams at Baltimore. The Rams have won 3 straight to get in, playoff contention in the NFC. The Baltimore Ravens are trying to go for the top seed in the AFC. Indy at Cincinnati is a surprisingly good game now. The Colts have been playing really well lately. And then the Bengals are right there on the fringe of playoff contention. And even Tampa Bay at Atlanta, I don't think those teams are any good, but that's a first-place battle, like most of those in that division, because it's, 500's first place there. So those are all important games in the morning. And then in the afternoon, you've got the Vikings at the Raiders, which is like a must-win for the Vikings. They need to get back on track. Seattle, San Francisco. The 49ers can pretty much clinch. I think they can clinch a playoff spot with a win. And you got Buffalo at KC. Huge game for both teams. I would say for Kansas City now, they're starting to all right, we're getting close. We need to start getting into, round into form. And then Denver at the Chargers is a must-win for the Chargers and close to a must-win for the Broncos as well, if anyone wants any hope of making the playoffs here. So all those games are important. And then the Sunday night game is Dallas is a game behind Philly in the NFC East. And they got them in Dallas.
It's in Dallas, yeah.
And
they're here in Dallas.
Philly's coming off a terrible game against the 49ers. But Cowboys have been great at home, but bad against teams with winning records. That's a huge game on Sunday night. So it's really a
decent slate.
Good day for NFL football this Sunday with lots of interesting matchups.
You'll be interested to know, Ben, that a former Padre is on the move.
Is that why Blake Snell was trending?
No. New York Mets have just tweeted 13 minutes ago they have signed outfielder Taylor Colway to a minor league contract with an invitation to Major League spring training.
Padres need outfielders, and they just let
He's a lefty, too, I think.
Taylor Colway get away. It's exactly what the Padres need. Left-handed outfielders.
We are not going to sit in here and lament the loss of Taylor
Mets
Colway.
Are getting,
we are not going
stealing
to
them right out from under the San Diego Padres this morning.
The new president of baseball ops there, David Stearns, he's been signing the most random. I need to go find the transaction list. But Met fans,
you're not the Brewers GM anymore, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Met fans are losing. They're like, how many scrubs can we pick up? Like everybody we're picking up is a straight scrub, and they're losing their minds because they haven't done anything, earth-shattering yet. And we'll see if they do. They may be doing the old reset bid as well. After they traded away, all those guys at the deadline last year. So we'll see what happens. But Taylor Colway, Ben, not our circus anymore.
All right, we'll come back. The Roundel Report is going to wrap things up. We had a pretty cool crossover event last night in Las Vegas that Paulie's going to talk about, and the newest chain restaurant concept that's out there.
I'm here for it.
That the first time I see one, I'm gonna go, ooh, look, there's a.
Can't wait.
And Paulie's gonna tell us all about it. Coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Take some time this weekend and make sure you go and nominate someone for our $1,000 holiday extravaganza gift card giveaways. There must be a family that had a rough 2023 and could use some extra cash for holiday gifts. And thanks to some great sponsors, we'll be giving away gift cards, $1,000 gift cards on Wednesday the 20th during our 5th annual Ben & Woods Christmas and Holiday Extravaganza. Thank you so much to 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown. The San Diego Seals, get your Seals now, or tickets now at sealslax.com. Padilla Law, San Diego's father-son injury law firm, and by Swami's Cafe. Love Swami's. Got them up in Encinitas, all over the place. Great breakfasts, great coffee, smoothies, whatever you're looking for. It's all there. But you got to nominate by going to 973thefansd.com/holiday.
Yes.
To get your family in need into the hopper for our decisions that we got to make. Always a tough decision. I wish we could give out more.
Me too.
Every single year. We'll do the best that we can and try to find some worthy recipients on the 20th.
That's exactly right, Benny.
All right, Paulie's got some headlines in our Ryle report. We'll get to some flubs and wrap up the week after last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Pretty good wrap-up for Morning Drive. Crashes cleared westbound King Freeway just before Federal, and that accident has cleared 2nd Street on-ramp to westbound 8. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Ryle Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Ryle Report with Paul Rindle.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Rindle Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
I'm fired up.
All right. Fired up over there?
Yeah, I'm fired up.
It's because of all the in-season tournament in the NBA.
God, so I've been waiting for 3.5 hours to talk about this.
I knew
Ben's
you were.
beloved Lakers.
I knew you were.
Moving on.
Now, I will say, I did see that the ratings for the NBA in-season tournament games, they saw, I think it was 26% increase. Again, these were
pretty good
regular season games
really
in November, mostly that, well, quite frankly, didn't matter to anybody.
Yeah.
Before this, and
it's interesting.
It didn't really catch me, get me super back into early regular season NBA basketball. For me, the season still starts on Christmas morning.
You didn't like the courts, and
I hated the courts.
I did. I feel
thought
like
they were
it should.
awful.
You think that should be a role reverse? Typically, wouldn't I be like, these courts are lame? Probably be like, I love them.
I kind of like the Vegas one last night.
I like them.
They weren't all great. Some of them were a little distracting to me, and I couldn't make out the players. In fact, I saw a story where the Lakers wanted to wear their blackout uniforms.
Yeah, they couldn't.
But they said, you're not going to look good on our court in black. So they made them wear gold. You have to be careful with the combinations, but some of them were cool. Some of them were a little busy.
I liked the court so much that I watched 0 minutes of it. 0. But I did see the highlights and clips and things.
Sure. It was a good idea. I think it's successful. It'll wrap up tomorrow with the championship game. For
One
the,
game, that's it.
I watched it last night. I watched the end of the first game. Indiana pulled out the win over the Milwaukee Bucks. And immediately I started thinking, all right, so Pacers are in the championship game. Pacers have the lowest payroll and one of the smallest markets in basketball. They will face either the New Orleans Pelicans, another small, tiny market, or the Los Angeles Lakers in the final. You could hear Adam Silver go to his knees and pray,
panic.
Please, Lakers win this game, because I do not want Pacers-Pelicans as the first ever final of our in-season tournament. The Lakers won by 44 points in that game against the Pelicans and will indeed be the headliners tomorrow on ABC 10 at 5:30 p.m. in the championship game of the first ever in-season tournament. LeBron called Adam Silver a genius. And maybe he's just being a good soldier, but he said, this has been the best idea ever. People are excited about it. I want to win it. I want to add it to my list of accomplishments. Yeah. Taking it seriously. The Lakers have played their best basketball in these games that are tournament games.
Keep it in your pants. All right. What I did love from the in-season tournament was yesterday. So the NBA has 2 major partners, Disney, ESPN, ABC, and then they also have the TNT broadcasts on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's when you get the TNT doubleheaders. So yesterday was a Thursday, but because it wasn't exclusively for TNT, this was an NBA in-season tournament, they combined ESPN and TNT broadcast crews. They had their own desks, but they were right next to each other. I think they had
right
a
outside
mixed crew.
T-Mobile Arena.
They had a mixed crew on the broadcast, I believe, right?
I think so,
Doris Burke, I think, was doing it. So I saw this video going around from the pregame show.
And one game was on TNT and the other one was on ESPN.
If you were watching, you had TNT, Chuck, Ernie, Shaq, Kenny. Those guys are always chaos. Then you got Stephen A. Smith into the mix just to ramp things
The
up.
only time they've met this year, 124.
Wait, Dame didn't play. Stop it.
And Giannis went for 54.
I don't like the way. I don't like the way Chuck.
And the Pacers still won the game.
Chuck's over there interrupting Ernie. Chuck is over there interrupting. Let Ernie speak and complete his sentence and his question. Don't make me come over there and have to deal with you. I can't wait till
that Dan Orlovsky and Damian Woody don't slap the hell out of you. You tell me straight up. Hey, Stephen A., welcome to my world, man. I didn't even notice I was being interrupted.
I'm coming to the rescue tonight, Ernie. I'm coming to the rescue tonight, Ernie. I'll deal with him later.
You know what bothers me, Stephen A.?
Everything.
No, you get Molly and Malika, and we have to look at Ernie's ugly head. you take it on Ernie? You think part of the game is that? What part of the game is this? What part of the game is this? Now,
Ernie.
We would add Malika to our show along with Molly. But however,
That's insane.
It was
way too many
absolutely
voices. That's way too
chaotic.
many
chaos.
And as to be expected, when you put Shaq and Chuck and then throw in Stephen A. to the mix, there was a line. Chuck said, you got first take, but if you come over here, it's going to be the first ass kicking you ever take.
Incredible.
Just chaotic.
Chuck was in rare form last night.
All right. Speaking of LeBron James, Ben, you just brought him up. His son, Bronny James, going to make his debut for USC on Sunday. He's
Pretty
been
amazing.
cleared. And do the Lakers play on Sunday?
They do
Because
not. No, they play tomorrow, and then they've got there's no NBA games at all on Sunday. So LeBron can go and watch USC Long Beach State and see his son make his college debut.
Pretty awesome.
Good for him.
It was only how many months ago did he have his heart attack? And
it was earlier
nearly
this year.
died? Yeah, not that long ago. It's fantastic that he is recovered and is able to continue his basketball career.
All right.
It's awesome.
And finally, we'll wrap it up with a little fast food here. McDonald's has a new twist on their restaurant coming out. It's called Cosmix. COSMC''S. It's a spin-off restaurant, and I've seen a bunch of people talking about it a little bit differently. To me, it looks like McDonald's is... They're not transitioning. The regular Golden Arch McDonald's restaurants will still remain, but this new concept kind of looks like a Sonic, maybe, or like a Dairy Queen. I think it's Dairy Queen Grill or something like that. They're switching things up.
More drive-throughs, less inside space. Cosmic apparently was like one of the characters, like Hamburglar and Grimace in the 70s. He was like one of their characters.
They're going to be offering different types of sandwiches entirely, stuff that you do not see at your typical McDonald's menu. They're going to have like pretzel bites. They'll have desserts. I think with like the drinks, it's going to be more like a Sonic. You can get like those cherry blasts or something like that. It's like a slushy almost.
Yeah, all right, here's a couple right here. The chain will offer sweet and savory treats. These include a spicy queso sandwich, a creamy avocado tomatillo sandwich, pretzel bites, and caramel fudge brownies.
I've heard it's really more about the beverages. This is more of a competitor to like Starbucks than a competitor to Carl's Jr.
Can I get a Big Mac there?
They're offering like coffee drinks and energy drinks and slushy drinks, and the big thing that I think is really the game changer, boba. And I have never understood.
You like boba?
I don't. I've never understood.
I love it.
But people, especially younger people, like my kids' age, go crazy for these bobas. And I go in and they're like, they'll charge $7 for like a boba tea, and I'm going, iced tea is essentially free.
It's like a nickel.
It costs you like 5 cents, and then you just put these little jelly things into it, and now you're charging people $7 for it. It's got to be the greatest.
What's in those little things?
I don't know. They're like little tapioca, little
tapioca
balls.
Yeah.
And it like jacks up the price of a beverage by 4,000% to put them in. And young people, and this is making me sound like an old person today, they go crazy for these boba teas nowadays.
It's tapioca, really.
Yeah, tapioca pearls that they put in, like milk teas. It's got to be a fortune maker for these companies. And McDonald's is looking at it and goes, all these 19-year-olds and 22-year-olds are getting all this boba, and we're not cashing in $1 on this craze. So this is their answer. They're gonna try to corner the market on these boba drinks, I think, going forward, that are insanely priced.
It looks a lot like Sonic to me. I mean, I'm reading here for drinks like the Island Pick-Me-Up Punch. It's a berry lemonade with dried strawberries. You can add boosts to it,
and they're gonna charge like $6 for these things, and people will pay them.
Yeah. They're going to have, like I said, 6-piece pretzel bites. They're going to have McPops, which are going to be mini donuts that come with cookie butter, apple cinnamon, and hazelnut filling. And then some of those ridiculous sandwiches. They're starting with 10 locations in, I think, the Texas area, the Dallas area.
Shocker.
And then, yeah. And then if it's a success, you will, I'm sure you will start seeing more and more of those.
I'm sure people who watched on the stream see me most days. I have my... I get my 99-cent on the app iced coffee, no sugar, at McDonald's most days. That's my McDonald's of the day, and I'll nurse it through the entire 4 hours of the show.
Balsamic Vinny says, you see the new supercharged caffeinated lemonade from Panera has killed 2 people. I did read that story. We missed that this week.
Does that make people want it more or less?
I kind of want to try it.
If see what this is all about.
If I'm being honest, I kind of want to
Of course,
try
they
it.
also sell those one-chip challenge have killed people, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that the new trend? Deadly foods.
Deadly foods.
Potentially deadly foods are the hot new thing here coming into 2024.
Eat it, you may die.
But they say they're going to open like 10,000 of these Cosmics all over the country.
I don't know if it'll work. Do you?
I don't know. If you can make a tea for 4 cents and charged $8 for it, it's a pretty good profit margin.
True. Yeah, I've never been a fan. My wife tried to get me to try it once, and it was absolutely. I don't. If I'm drinking something, you know what? I don't want to taste anything. I don't want anything into my mouth.
Chewy. There's something chewy in my beverage, sir.
I don't know what it is. I like it.
There's something chewy in my drink.
It's like balls of snot in my drink.
There's a lot of wild opinions. Some people love boba.
They love it.
Some people hate boba. I go to like the Thai restaurant down the street. They have 92 different boba teas. I'm going, your tea costs more than your pad thai. How are you making some?
Thai?
That's the pad thai.
It was pad thai.
Pad thai? Pad thai?
I think you said pad thai.
Pad thai. How do you pronounce it? I don't know. I don't think it's pad thai.
I think it is.
It's spelled P-A-D, but I think it's more pad thai.
I get like a pad CU.
Pad. Pud. That's it.
Just write it down on your notepad of things that you disagree with me about.
Can I get you a maxi pud?
Let's just get some flubs of the week to wrap things up.
Browns, Bengals, Ravens, 3-2-2 teams in that division. Ballast Point Beer, the official craft beer of the San Diego Padres, had Ballast Point in Little India.
He's not 35.
But he will be before the contract is done.
What is a contract?
Holiday season is almost here.
30 days, half September.
And that is do this for a Wednesday. Don't. Better Woods, back after check of traffic on 97.3 FAM. He's got the 5th most wins coaching time, all-time coaching. Fifth most, yes. February 12th, State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. State Farm Stadium.
That's not what I heard.
That's not what I heard either.
Our first sound from Padres Spring Training 2013. I think when a veteran pitcher is having success with those numbers, 6-year history of Major League Rugby.
What is rugby?
Sam Spring Tank, San Diego's #1 sports station. 93 The Fan.
We were just talking about Landon Jonovan.
Who is Landon Jonovan?
All right. Back after a check of traffic here on 91.37 The Fan. Almost the entire 97.3 The Crew is coming out.
And then, of course, Joe Darvish and kettlebell on the toe. Paul Ryle is our executive producer, YouTube director.
What's the director?
He's the director.
The Sockers, they haven't lost a season all home, so we need you out there.
Craig Elston will join us with some streaming television. In which Grammy-winning Beatles song does Paul McCartney sing about the words that go together well? He was our man on the scene in the Beast of the Belly, Dodger Stadium, on the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan
What
hotline.
is Carlsbad?
Are you okay?
What is happening right now?
If you like brisket and you're not going to Grand Ole Barbecue, you're doing it wrong in North Park, at Flynn Springs, and out at the ballpark. North Park. 97.3 The Fan.
Paul's got some really good audio coming up in the Ryle Report as well from Gabe Kapler, manager of the Giants, that you won't want to stay tuned for.
Sits down and talks to the owner of the Baltimore Orioles, Peter Angelos.
The Baltimore what?
Orioles. What'd I say?
To wrap up our 90s country theme for the week. Seem to enjoy playing for Bob Meller. Bob Melvin.
Who is Bob Meller?
And the Padres tie up this series in San Francisco.
What did we win? We won something. Here we go. There it is.
Good job, Woodsy.
Good job. Who?
Woodsy. The Baseball Writers Association. Try that again.
That's all, folks.
Diesel says Ben has problems with the word successful.
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 That's so fantastic.
I can successfully say the word successful only if I take great care.
Yeah. Successful.
And enunciate very clearly. Successful.
Sorry, I just banged the mic there. Sorry.
Well, you know what the good news is here is we have our last minute. We're not our friend John down the hallway, who has been on the air for how many hours now?
A lot.
27. He's got 10 more to go or so.
Yeah.
Until 7 o'clock tonight, they're doing their St. Jude Radiothon. Talked about it yesterday. Good for them, though. Doing something good, and I just wanted to give him a pat on the back. He came in, his voice sounded like he was...
Hey, what's up, guys?
I mean, he sounds like he's in a radiothon at least. So, he's putting in the work and going to continue on until 7 o'clock today.
Yeah, he's like, hey, grab a lozenge, bud.
Coach is still in, he's in Boston, right, for the Army-Navy game, so we'll get more from him and Braden from New England in the Massachusetts area. Foxborough coming up next.
I wonder if they went out last night in Beantown and raged.
Had some clam chowder.
Down in Southie.
And partied all night long.
Of course that's your
Sam
contention.
Adams.
You're a first-year grad student. Have fun. Good weekend, guys.
Italian Paul will be in running the show for them. I see him out there.
Go to the Seals game. Get your tickets at SealsLabs.com.
Oh, yeah, have fun. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
On the season opener. We will be back Monday, maybe with some Otani news, maybe with some more Padres trades or signings. Who knows? Talk to you Monday at 6 a.m. For Paul Ryle, for Stephen Woods. I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great weekend from all of us here at 97.3 The Fan. So long.